On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, Skadi has come again. Did you get her this time, or did you already have her? Or what? The Great Whiff in the Sky? Who knows? Also, hunting quests already? Fast? And some other stuff too. There's a rerun that we predicted but did not necessarily want. Our wallets continue to cry. Hello, I am one of your hosts, Omega, and I am currently in the Bone Zone. With me, as always, is Lucky. He wants to get off Mr. Bones' wild ride.
There's no getting off Mr. Bones' wild ride.
Oh, there is not. It's very funny that November has immediately started, and we've jumped straight to the spooky, scary skeletons thing.
Yeah.
Literally, Bones, right away. Thanks to Lightworks. Thanks, Aniplex.
Thanks. And with that in mind, I hope everyone is enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka Winter is Coming. And while we here at City Omega like to bring you the latest FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for the JP&E version of the game. So anyone not wanting spoilers should go back to the QP fields.
Lucky, you are not kidding about that winter is coming thing, by the way. Woke up today, 58 degrees, rainy.
Oh yeah, no, it's weird to think about it, because, I'm only starting to really see that fall weather, but no, it's been fall since, mid-September. We're early November. We got, a month and a half before winter hits.
Yeah. And that's pretty typical for Florida. Fall doesn't exist. It's just extra long summer, 80-degree days, all throughout September, through most of October. And then we're a weekend in November, and suddenly it's hey, it's going to be cold and wet. And I'm yes, good. Activate hoodie. Lurk in darkness, yes. Speaking of lurking in the darkness of my hearts, let's really quickly remind you this episode is brought to you by our lovely patrons like Adam DeHarp, Aka Comics, Aka Kazume, Architect 10, Blex G, Carlos, Dragon, Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Shiny P, some guy named Bob, 723, and Variant the Crow. If you like us and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early on some of our goodies, and it really helps us out. We thank you for your support, as always, and we keep you in our hearts. Thump, thump. I'm pretty sure thumping my chest didn't catch on the mic.
Well, I did it too, so probably not.
The spirit there. But alrighty, with that out of the way, I'd say move swiftly on, but guess what, guys? This is going to be one of those shows. Because it's all, reruns and bonus event news, and nothing else. Though, I suspect at the end of Skelegrams, we're going to have pseudo-free talk and wildly speculate, because, NA is real no breaks right now. It's very interesting considering there's no reason to go high speed, for reasons, which we'll discuss later. But before that, let's check in with everybody's favorite Kohai, Mesh.
Senpai! 起きてください.
That's right, everybody. It is now time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai, our regular segment for pro tips. Excuse me while I adjust my volume up slightly. So I got a couple this week. One you probably already know by now because it's the 5th, but in case you didn't notice or forgot, November's items for login for NA are giant rings, octuplet crystals, and void dust. I will take those rings. Thank you very much. Thank you. Big ring. And the other one I got is something I just thought of a little bit before we started the show, but realized was important. Hey, guys, don't forget that Fall Back is this Sunday.
Oh, Jesus.
Daylight saving time will end, and this means that all FGO times will be 1 hour earlier because our server doesn't really reset around it. So, you know how you have that login at midnight? No, it's 11 o'clock now, if you're in the East Coast. Same for daily resets and stuff moving from a time to 1 hour earlier. I know this doesn't make sense for our listeners who don't live in America, but the game is not even hosted in America, but I don't know. Maybe that's why it doesn't change. They said it. They started the game during DST and they refused to fix it. But yeah, so stuff gets a little weird. Watch out for it.
Watch out.
That said, I will appreciate the DST because it makes things happen earlier. Feel like you get started on your day. I would really appreciate if we would just fall back permanently. I should actually double check if we're going to do that in Florida this year. I know a lot of states are threatening to just completely kill DST because it's really annoying. So we'll see. But anyway, yeah, watch out for your FGO times. Don't fuck up your logins. But that's that. Let's move on really quick to check in with Records from the Throne, our regular achievement topic. It's just me this week. Contrapposto to last week, which was Oops All Lucky.
Oops.
And I want to let everybody know that Calamity Jane and Valkyrie Smiles have been protected. Thank you, Bone Daddy, for all your 5-star Lancer EXPs. And so we move. I don't know what I'm going to do about Valks. I think I like Thrud the best. But Pink Hair's fun, too. They're all cool. Maybe I'll set it to random.
No, it is not Chaldea Dami time, sir. My fingers are cold. I'm gonna turn on my ear.
It sounds like a good plan.
Why is my fucking chair caught on my shirt?
No! The prison of your own making. Anyway, while
Okay.
Lucky is escaping the prison of his chair and turning on his heater, I will move on and cover with y'all. Did you finish your master missions? You guys can't see, but I always tilt my head when I ask that. To do your master missions this week, the week of the show being 11/5/2021, it is currently 7:56 p.m. You will need to defeat 3 chaotic servants, defeat 15 saber berserker enemies, not servants or bosses, and this is repeated for 15 archer assassin enemies and 15 lancer rider caster enemies. And then you need to acquire 2 skill gems or statues and acquire 4 skill gems or statues. So basically, do your dailies that were on discount for the million downloads, and then also just punch skeletons, I guess. And there you have it. I'm punching skeletons right now.
I am as well. I forgot I was in a bone hell.
The hell of bones.
I am remembering to log in. I almost missed it. Like 2 days ago. I was like, did I log in? It's like 8 o'clock. I better check in. I did not log in. I was all like, whew. So we are.
We're good.
We're keeping the pace. We're keeping the pace.
You just need to remember the thing for Sunday.
Yeah.
That'll fuck some people up. Watch out for that.
Yeah.
But alright, that takes us clear of master missions, and we get to move on to Skelegrams. How appropriate for 3 more minutes.
Yeah.
So, JP did in fact tell us what they're doing after Halloween. Hey guys, guess what? It's Guda Guda Yamatai Koku 2020 rerun. Going from the 3rd to the 17th.
Yeah.
So, as we kind of suspected, though, I think we both kind of hoped not. Because we really kind of were maybe hoping they'd push it a little further for that Himiko rerun.
For the Himiko rerun, yes, I was kind of hoping it, but like I said, I'm kind of hoping they're gonna try and finish out, maybe get a new Guda Guda in before the year's out.
Yeah, we'll see if there's a new Guda Guda. Because this goes until about the halfway point of the month. It seems pretty clear that the Yamatai Koku rerun is basically they are killing time until whatever story-related event that requires 5.5 cleared drops in November. Then presumably we'll do Christmas, and then there will be another story-related event, though again, not officially Lost Belt 7. They've clarified this. Sometime in the back half of December. Or possibly the front half, I don't think they've clarified. But there should be at least two brand new story-related events this year, and possibly your regular Christmas as well. We're pretty sure.
Did they say there was going to be 2? I thought there was only going to be 1.
Nope. They said that in November there would be a 5.5 clear locked event, and then there would be a Lost Belt 6 locked clear event in December. Now, I don't think they actually said that either of those is not Christmas, so there may only be 2. One of them might be the Christmas this year, but we don't know. We'll see. But this is clearly this is a good time for a rerun. This is about a year out from Yamatai Koku, so yeah. It includes the usual rerun sort of goodies, some full screen NP updates for everybody. Okita's ponytail costume is in the RP shop if you don't already have it after this event. You also, during the time period of this event, get 2 free FP summon 10 spins per day, incentive to get Nobukatsu, who's back in that FP gacha. This, I think, is a nice little feature for the rerun, in case you missed him the first time around. They give you at least, 20 spins per day for 2 weeks. And we have a summon banner. Excuse me, sorry. Little burpee. Had pizza and wings earlier. Big energy, big starch. Increase your sinuses. But the summon banner rotation is Himiko, of course, Ruler coming back. But also, Okita and Hijikata are back, as well as Saito, the limited 4-star from this Guda Guda season. So, there's a decent little spreaderino there. I hope that Himiko gets as many raid-ups as Hijikata and Okita get, because goddamn. I mean, I still don't have an Okita, but shit, dude, she goes on raid-up a lot. And again, I don't have Skahak or Gilgamesh either, and they are, the 2 most frequently raided-up servants ever. Hey, speaking of a Skahak, we're gonna pivot to NA, nothing else really big going on in the GP. In NA, we have hit the 15 million downloads event, running from the 1st of November to the 15th of November, splitting the month in half perfectly. Log in for 7 days for 10 of various things, ending on your boy summon tickets. If you've been keeping up with story, there are bonus master missions for 30 Saint Courts. I believe it's 10 for clearing Lost Belt 1 Chapter 1, and then 10 for clearing, or 20 for clearing Lost Belt 4 Chapter 1. Just making sure you're caught up in that story, because Atlantis is coming. You've got half QP cost for enhancement and double suck chance. Very nice. Also, you're looking at, for this duration, half and quarter AP main quests, all the way up through the Lost Belts, I think all the way up to 4. Also, NPC CEs have been added throughout the story if you're lagging. So I do believe this is all story parts now, including possibly even Epic of Remnant. Part 1, Part 1.5, all of Part 2 now have story CEs for NPCs. So, yay.
Lovely.
Chaldea Dinner Time has been added to the MP shop. That one is, I'm assuming, Bond and something.
I believe it's Master EXP.
Okay. That's in the MP shop. Be Graceful is in the RP shop now, if you don't have it. Yeah, it's Master EXP, okay. It has MASH looking cute. We also have the Start Dash temporarily boosted. Don't know why I wrote that down as Star Dash, but the Start Dash is temporarily boosted, and there is a returning Master bonus if you haven't logged in for a while. If you've just been a Christmas and Easter FGO player for a little bit listening to the podcast, hey, now's a good time to relog in. Get some free shit. Especially considering, as we brought up earlier, Skadi's banner is back until the 8th. I had 10 tickets from the event and stuff. Oh, actually, I should have put this in my frickin' records. I did beat the CQ, actually.
Oh, neat.
It took a couple quartz revives, but that was okay, because it was 5 tickets. I brute forced the fuck out of it.
I told you!
Yeah. Hey, when you get 5 tickets, you can spend a couple Saint Quartz, and it doesn't matter. Just feed Saint Quartz into the problem.
I told
Space
you.
Ishtar goes burr.
Oh, on my last one, I got 5 bones. Holy shit.
Nice.
That's a lot of bone.
You can get a lot of bones in this.
Yeah, but no, bone time is over. We are now off the fucking wild ride.
Well, I think it's about as good as time to move on as any. But really quickly, I will talk about. I did spend 10 tickets from the event and the 30 Saint Cards they gave her. No Skadi at an awful boost time. Thanks to the generosity of some lunatics in the comments, we're doing pretty. Our October funding is very, very good. That'll be a few weeks before that comes in. But
are you sure that the bone quiz is over? Because I just went back into it.
Oh, did they give us 2 days? It should be ending. I thought it said like 30 minutes left earlier.
No, it's
3 hours left. Oh, is
11:05.
it until midnight? Okay.
Yeah.
I could have sworn it said time earlier. Maybe I was looking at something else.
Well, no. Well,
I know daily reset happened.
Yeah, daily reset. But no, the bone ride continues, my friends.
Right,
Bone
cool.
on. Perfect.
The Bone Zone persists. The Bone Zone will be over by the time this goes live to public, though.
Yes.
Possibly by the time the audio goes to patrons as well, depending on processing and stuff. All right, well, I'll continue to farm bones. Give me those sweet, sweet EXPs and skill gems, too.
Listen, I need bones.
Listen, I'm not going to say no to bones. I am bone. But, thanks to the generosity of some people, our revenue on YouTube for October was way up. So I'm pretty sure I could drop an 80-pack. I probably would not stream it because I literally don't know. YouTube Gaming doesn't do the thing anymore for phones. If you guys are interested in that kind of reckless spending, and I will wait until public comments because our patrons have disposable income, so I know they're for reckless recreational spending. Let me know if, hearing my story of that would be interesting to you, audience. Otherwise, I will conserve my funds for other times. But
hey, listen, if you want reckless spending, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
Hey.
He tells you all kinds of reckless spending stories. But I do think we are pretty good with what we got going on so that I can fund my planned projects for later in the year and do some other stuff. I'll talk more about that on the What's Up. Hold on, the thumbnail is loading. It's taking a little bit. Okay.
I decided to go with the purple-pink squad.
Yes. Very purpley. Let's hope people like it. I'm sure they will, though. I mean, our views have been a little sluggish, especially on streams like last week. Don't know what was going on there. Not even Fail Portrayal did super good.
I don't know. I was actually watching our last Alan Wake stream at work because I was like, no, now is the time to reflect and learn. I was like, honestly, Omega, I have to say it. It's because we're not girls. I think that's the only reason.
Damn it.
I know, right? Because I was listening to our voices. I was listening to our engagement. I think we have, a bad habit of talking over each other a lot of the times, and that usually, will, trip me up. But no, other than that, I'm like, no, I actually do not understand why more people do not watch our streams. It's weird.
We're cool. Watch our streams. If you're listening to this on YouTube and you have hours to kill, watch a stream. Do it. It's funny. You can also chat to us. Don't be discouraged just because Dax or whoever, we usually get, a couple of people who block up the live chat. You can yell over them. It's all text chat. We're watching. The advantage of how we do our double streams is that usually one person is not playing, so we can totally focus on reading chat. But yeah, I will let you know more about my plans. But if you guys think it would be entertaining to do the Scotty thing, let me know because you know Omega, he's been adamant that he's not willing to go broke for Scotty, and so does not have one. At the very least, there's 10 tickets at the end of the login, should be fine. But I got some ideas and thoughts for stuff. But since we are in Hunting Quests, let's go ahead and scooch on and let you guys know what's going on with Hunting Quests. Hunting Quest 6, running from the 4th to the 11th. They're back. According to my sources, the order should be Skeletons for bones. Those are also Lancers. Enforcement Knights for medals. Also saber stuff, if you're into that. Could be relevant. Amazons for feathers. I believe those are archers. Helter Skelters and Yakuza for gears and spinal fluid. Ifrits and Hornets for lamps and gunpowder. Thank you very much. And our last one should be Demon Boars and Mindless Ones for gallstones and stand arrows. Not chains, stand arrows, allegedly. Which I will definitely appreciate. I don't think I've got a lot of servants who are really harping on the stand arrows, but that's a brand new fucking mat, so I'll take a hunting quest.
Yeah, no, I'll probably try and smack that around a little bit.
And those ones that are double are a variety of classes you'll have to double check. But do remember that in addition to the featured material they drop, you're also looking at skill gems and EXPs for the appropriate classes, including the possibility of the super mega awesome hands who drop 5-star EXPs. So, especially if you do your farming early while the double suck and half QP is going on, you're going to have a lot of fun times. It's going to be pretty good. But yeah, so that's basically where the news is. Nothing, like, groundbreaking, but also pretty interesting. And I say this because, this is what I alluded to earlier, this is our pseudo free talk segment. I'm fairly certain, and I will double check now if I can, I've been having trouble reaching the Grand Order Wiki server today. It's been timing out a lot. Hopefully that means they're not done for good. I would really regret that because their formatting of stuff was way nicer than the Fandom Wiki. Way more usable, even if it was slow. But let's see if I can track down the friggin' event list. Okay, event list for 2019, November. Yep, that's literally it. In JP, the only things that happened in November were 18 million downloads, so we're still about 3 million downloads behind. Hunting Quest 6. At the very, very end, there was Christmas for that year. There was the Babylonia release campaign that we already got, and there was a Fate prototype commemoration, which we're not going to get in that form anyway. Like I said, I expect a lot of that stuff will be thrown into Thanksgiving. So, we have a lot of time to kill in November. Like, the million downloads ends on the 15th. The Anime NYC panel isn't until Saturday the 20th, I think?
Yeah.
So we've got a literal dead week before, presumably, they announce the Thanksgiving stuff on the 20th, and then probably after that, they announce that Christmas is going to happen. You know, it's going to be there, it's going to be our panel.
Christmas probably isn't going to be that early, so probably what's going to happen is they're probably going to pull something maybe from the future. Yeah.
We've got at least a dead week in here, and I'm very curious what they're going to do. Will it be something random? Will it be something tied to, like, you know, something or other? Are we going to get, like, Camelot streaming in that week and do some other Camelot tie-ins?
Nah, I'm betting we're going to have a because the Camelot release, the actual movie release, doesn't happen until next month. I think like the 14th. I think that's what it says.
Yeah.
I'm betting we're going to have a fucking Solomon release commemoration at some point or something.
That could be it. I mean, we have time for a Camelot campaign in December. I'm just like wondering because first of all, I think because there were 2 movies, there were like 4 or 5 events in JP, only some of which we've covered so far on our end. So yeah, with only about a week gap of dead time, I don't think like I was wondering earlier if the timelines would line up that like, ooh, do we have enough time for to you know. Would we have the possibility to sneak in the secret Christmas 4 rerun? No, we don't have time for that. I don't think they would do that anyway. It was just one of those things of like, man, we could be in true chaos mode. But no, we'll be probably padding out that last week with something. And then the Thanksgiving event block will probably be actually like set up to be announced at Anime NYC and then go through that week. And Christmas will either start about the same time it started at JP, which was November the 28th, or they'll actually wait until December starts, because they've got a little bit of wiggle room there. And actually in December, what do we got here? You've got... Oh, I mean, there's an interlude campaign that's supposed to happen in December, after Christmas. That could possibly go in early, but then you've got a pre-release campaign for Atlantis, and then you've got... Atlantis release, There was a 15th year anniversary for Fate Stay Night that's no longer true because 2 years have passed. Also, we don't have that over here. How dare you? And then there was the Winterfest thing for Fukuoka. We won't get that either. Some of that might be bundled into Thanksgiving as well. And then there is a campaign summoning 2 on Atlantis. So, yeah, I think they'll probably scooch Christmas back a little. We may or may not get that interlude campaign for that 1 week. That is probably something they could move up. Does it have a summon banner? It does. Nobody knew, though. Also not a super great banner, because I think everybody on it is permanent. It's Anastasia, Napoleon, Liang, and Prince Lan Ling. Pretty sure all those kids are permanent, so. But yeah, that's a possibility. Could be the interlude campaign. We'll see. I especially because Christmas wasn't that early, there's no reason why they're going to shove up Christmas earlier than Thanksgiving. That does not make any goddamn sense. We have Thanksgiving. It's coming. This event is actually Christmas themed. You know, Nightingale wears a hat and like does her Mary Poppins thing.
Y'all.
She just thinks that it's time for medicine rather than candy. So yeah, I could definitely see the interlude campaign being pulled up, and then the week gap between like Christmas and then Atlantis, or at least running concurrent with the Atlantis pre-release, could be the Camelot movie release event, because that's what, the 14th?
Yeah, December 14th, I believe, yes.
Yeah. Notice how that's 2 weeks after December starts. Just saying.
Thank you.
Who's on time?
Excuse me. Thank you.
So, yeah, that's my wild speculation. I think it's kind of interesting that we're going quite so ham. So ham, in fact, that we will have a literal, like, gap week they're going to have to fill with something. But FGO also does have, I've literally listed off, like, 3 or 4 events in the next 2 months in JP's timeline that we're literally not going to do because we don't even have those fucking things. We don't have Fate Prototype drama CDs over here. We don't have Fate Stay Night, We don't have Fukuoka. Though again, like I said, some of that Winterfest stuff might be pulled in to commemorate like the panel or Thanksgiving, whatever. So it's a little interesting. We'll see what happens. But once again, I remind you of my pro tip from last week: be on your toes for your clairvoyance this month. They always like to throw us some curveballs. But with that, I believe that is all our newsies.
Alrighty, well then with that, we're probably just gonna move straight into this week. Let's talk FGO Mailbag, the segment where we read what you send in and comment accordingly. This week, excuse me, I got attacked by the yawns. I will refresh and be nice, because I know some people get in. Yep, and someone got in. And this week we don't have as many as usual. We only got 17, so we can probably power on through all of them.
Correct. We've only been recording the show for 26 minutes.
Jesus. But we'll get through them all, and we're going to begin right meow. And this first one comes from Moon is out of resources and patiently waiting Christmas to torture herself into farming for upcoming servants next year. Yeah, a lot of times do that. Again, I am constantly, like, slightly bamboozled that there was no, Christmas, Samba Cats rerun Christmas. For reasons! But it's just one of those things of all, like, oh yeah, we're not gonna get that. And so, honestly, this is probably one of those reasons why we just have, like, kind of a weird placement in this kind of stuff. But, they go on to say, question, hey there, Looking to Mega, hope you're doing well. I recently got seat 9 for Molling's story banner, a desperate attempt for coup alter. I know it's a bad idea, but I'm losing patience. Anyway, are there any story locked units that you want and still don't have?
That would require me to remember all the units that are story locked.
I have quite a few story lock characters. Ones that I desperately want. I might have to say no. Like, off the top of my head, I know I don't have a Napoleon, but I'm okay with that. I don't have an Anastasia, but I'm okay with that. I don't have a coup alter, but I'm okay with that. I don't have
Anastasia is not story locked. She's permanent.
Oh, she's permanent? Oh, whatever. I still don't have her, so whatever. Now I lost my train of thought, so I'm just gonna end it there.
Yeah, I guess I'm still chasing regular Artorial Lancer. That's a story lock servant for some reason. Story locks were weird at early FGO. But I've been pretty lucky with everybody else so far. Got Sclapius, got Pyson. That was a lot of work. Tsutone's cute, but not a huge deal. Got Salieri, got Shiba. Don't have Dunzo or Munori, but I'm not super cut up about it. Got Gorgon, got Jaggerman, got Kets, got Bedivere. And I wouldn't mind the complete set since I don't have Gawain yet. Actually, no. I guess technically I will say this. Because Medea Lily is for some reason story locked, and I do actually I quite like her niche of healing things and removing debuffs. So that has definitely bit me in the ass a couple of times not having her. But yeah, no, it's not an extensive list yet. Next, there's only been 4 from now until the future. There's only been 4 more story locks added. 3 of those with Lost World 6. But that's going to be the question mark of the future, is those 4 probably. Because it's Canis, Bargus, Babanshi, and Habitrap, but you get your first copy of her for free. Those extra copies, though, in that FP gacha. We'll see. But yes, that was Unlockable Servants, so there you go.
There you go. We move on. The next one comes from, hi, do you have a moment to talk about the religion that will save the world, the Donatology? I mean, if you want a sexist religion to rule the world, go for it. Unlike a lot of people out there, I actually bought the book and read it. It's not that great, y'all. It's not. Instead, endorse curvatology. That's my religion. I made it. I'm the founder. But they say, hey, Landorus, T, Lucky, and Orankuru Omega. Hope you're enjoying the downtime, given the reasonably grindy events we've had back-to-back as of late. No questions this week, just well wishes. P.S. I will cry if Thanksgiving Batter this year features Arjuna Altar. They do occasionally throw random stuff on the banners.
They get the opportunity to improve.
Yeah.
I mean, I do use Caster Irisfield, but it's not that great. She's more like regenerating from... Sorry, I'm addressing Patreon chat. Irie regenerates you from damage. She doesn't stop the game from bullying you with debuffs, which it does a lot sometimes, and I hate it.
He hates it.
Debuff removal's getting better and better, but it's still... considering how exclusive her niche was for so long, Medea Lily is shockingly exclusive. I don't know. Story locking is weird because of like how it relates to mechanical niches, but that's a whole different question. We are busy discussing something else.
Okay, so... yeah. That is that.
Yeah. People also were listening about some of the other stuff we did get in some past Thanksgiving banners, which has been weird and unusual. They usually scrounge up like banners that would normally be exclusive to JP, like Killmath and stuff. But sometimes they've also done those as standalone, so like I truly don't know. I think some other people are going to ask us to like speculate. I'm going to be like, I legitimately don't fucking know.
If I remember correctly, I think Killmath was turned into the Back to School.
Yeah, they turned into the Back to School campaign this year. And was Shuten's rank up this year or last year? I literally don't even remember. What is time? But one of the times they gave Shuten, I think that was last year, and they gave Shuten the rank up quest and then just did a banner for that as Killmath. They just did it as no, she's already had a rank up. If she's got more, I don't know, but I'm talking about rank ups that already exist. You can't gaslight me, it happened. Yes, but sometimes Patreon chat's very infuriating. The one that was in a Killmath banner, there was a Killmath special, Shuten was on that banner because she's limited, she got a rank up. Was that this year or last year? If you don't remember, I will continue my train of thought. Please stop trying to make me disbelieve that it didn't happen. It happened, I'm just wondering when. I'm pretty sure they did that as a standalone banner, though, last year. Anyway, sorry to detract so long for that, because people are fucking confusing me. It's probably because the wiki's down.
Let's see.
Here, moving on to the next one.
The strengthening was unlocked at the Killmath 2018 exhibit commemoration in Japan.
Okay, so that would be 1 year ago for us.
Yes.
Yeah, so anyway, they've started doing Killmath as basically its own standalone thing now, so I literally don't know on Thanksgiving. Let us move on, because this is not the only time we're going to discuss Thanksgiving this mailbag.
So, we're going to move on. This next one comes from 4-star ticket or no 4-star ticket. That is the question. They say, hey, y'all. This week I'll just clarify my idea. Last week I kept it ambiguous and avoid explaining unnecessarily and see if y'all will come out with ways to do it. Basically, what I had in mind when I mentioned the 2-team system is a node where you have to set up 2 teams of 3, no repeat servants idea, and go through one battle with one team and another battle with another, where waves may go higher than 3. Heck, for some challenge, you might have to deal with your teams getting forcefully swapped halfway through an enemy skill or something. I think the battling and swap mechanic for a full team. I'm trying not to give too many details because FGO would likely put their own spin on the idea. I want to see if you guys could think of variations. Regards, I think not. Again, go Megan.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, I mean, I think we came up with a version of this idea. We just wanted to clarify what the 2 teams things meant. Like, I don't know, I guess as like an endurance mechanic where you literally do 2 fights back to back with different teams that can only be 3 of, okay. I kind of don't like that because there's no reserve, because that means that the FGO is going to bully you, because FGO likes to cheat. Chet. But, like, it's interesting, but also I think you can accomplish the same kind of endurance run mechanic with stuff they've already done, like with waves more than 3, and in Halloween just now, they did more than 3 enemies at a time on screen, so. Lucky, what were you going to say?
Again, like, what I was gonna say is I'm looking at this, it's like, again, I feel like, splitting it up this way is horribly, convoluted. Like you're talking about the swap mechanic, if you're gonna do that, just have your reserve team just have a mechanic that you fight your first wave with a one team, and then as soon as you hit the second wave, there's a field effect that just swaps your front and back team, and then you switch to your back half. Like, we already have 6 slots in our setup.
True. You could just do full order change without being randomized.
Yeah. Heck, that should probably be great on the fucking Mystic Code. Just swap your whole front half with your back half. Maybe it's a little OP, but it's interesting. Well, I guess it wouldn't be as OP because, like, with the plug suit, you can pick 1 for 1, so you can, like, be very specific. Oh, you are in the Patreon chat. Yes.
Yeah, no, forced order change just does the same thing. You can literally just bring them forward. Now, the idea of, like, fighting 2 separate battles at once is interesting. FGO usually doesn't bother to fuck with that, right? Like, they just do 2 separate nodes.
Mm-hmm.
It would be interesting as, like, a CQ idea, but I don't know. I'm just trying to think of ways that are fun and not tedious, and it's a little hard, because some of these ideas are tedious.
Oh god, and Robin is right. People would just bring 3 servants.
They would cheat. Yeah.
They would. Animals.
Well, yeah, 4. Whatever.
Chet. Anyway, thanks for that. Thank you for clarifying it too. It's good.
It's true. We did ask for clarification last week. I'm glad we decided to follow that up.
Yep. So this next one comes from thinking about the fluffy ball I have to fight in 2 years and sweating cold sweats. Hello there, Farmy Lucker and Tax Collector Omega. I'll let it pass. With 50 million downloads on NA, things have been going rather slowly for me in game and in real life, but sometimes slow is good, I guess. Listen, better slow than fast and out of control. Also good to know that with these last 2 events in JP, that event exclusive low stars welfares have their coins in the shop, so I won't have to roll 100 extra Nobukatsu copies. 100 extra Nobukatsu copies.
I feel like you didn't have to go back to 100 extra there. You got that out perfectly fine.
That's where the quantum time break happened. Okay.
Reset.
100 extra Nobukatsu copies for his skills.
You're saying that 5 times fast.
Question. Predictions for Thanksgiving banners. For some reason, I have a feeling Kama might show up, but that's just a feeling, and I'm sure Save Mode Lucky would be very conflicted if that actually happens. Well, that's all for me. Hope you're having a nice weekend, and next week is just as good. Bye-bye. Honestly, I don't think they're going to do Kama. It's too soon. It's literally too soon. Kama only happened...
Same year? Kama didn't get any extra read-ups in JP.
Nope.
Doesn't she come back for Thanksgiving? I gotta double check. Or not Thanksgiving, New Year's. New Year's the ones. The New Year's stuff is like... I always forget who's actually on New Year's. They usually chop about half of that for Thanksgiving over here, and then they throw in some other shit. I brought this up earlier. Literally don't know. Literally don't know.
I don't think she's had any... Well, no, I do know there's an interlude campaign that she gets. Did she get a rank up on that interlude campaign? That interlude campaign was only this year, I believe, though.
Somebody said in chat, I think we can be reasonably certain, we can be like 99% certain Skahak and Gil will be on the Thanksgiving banner, because that happens every fucking year. But, other than that, I do not think it will be Kama.
It'll not be Kama. Like I said, she has a raid up planned for summer next year around with the OQ rerun. And like I said, she'll probably have... I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm assuming she has a raid up at her interlude campaign. Like I said, I want to...
They usually do that with interludes.
Mm-hmm. So, no...
I mean, are any of the Greeks limited? They usually do mostly limited servants for Thanksgiving. It's basically like...
Oh, was it just Reyna's? It could be.
But it could be like... Usually they do it as basically baby New Year's because, again, cultural context. New Year's is a big deal in a lot of East Asian countries. It is not as big of a deal over here in the U.S. Christmas and Thanksgiving are a much bigger, like, especially because of Black Friday, are a much bigger, like, economic and social thing.
Are we going? Oh, no. That's just going to be part of our Thanksgiving. I'm about to say, are we going to have like a Thank Black Friday commemoration weird thing? Nah.
No, they'll probably just, roll that into the week of that. And they probably won't even do anything extra special about it.
Yeah, probably not.
They do. Who knows? Black Friday deal on Saint Courts. Buy one, get one free.
They make a lot of money. Well, they make a good influx, but then people definitely would not buy later in the year.
I don't know. If you spend it all on Thanksgiving.
Maybe.
That's the thing about currency. You've got to buy it later.
That's true.
Remember, Consort Yang. And Super Orion, actually. Remember, that boy, big meta. Big, thick meta. Damn, boy, he thick. That's a thick-ass boy. I crush my bottle of water. That's how thick Orion is. He crushes things. Extra thick.
Oh, that's a bigger version of it. I gotta save that.
Oh, it's got a little bit of... Yeah, I know how that one started. It's got a little bit of the laugh at the end, too.
That's important. That's important to me, y'all.
It's a very vital. It's a thick version of the GIF. All right.
So, with that, though...
Oh, I do want to throw out there, sorry, I just remembered that. Before we got to the question, that line about verifying that the servant coins for welfares and low-star rarities are in the shop. That's cool. Thank God.
Oh, yeah.
You can actually unlock their append skills. But yes,
so... honestly, if I wanted something weird, I'd probably want to throw in a Moriarty. Probably. Like, again, like, just something random. Probably Moriarty.
I know he's got a rate up already this year, but sometimes they like to throw shit at us, and I think Old Man doesn't get enough rate ups.
True. Super true. Super true.
This is my constant war with people who are like, new servant, but also re-rate ups, please.
Make up your goddamn mind. You can't have everything. Pick one or the other.
And some people will pick new servants all the time, but I'm like, okay, but seriously. Like, I know people complained about, like, White Day being, Old Man and the Spider, and I'm like, yeah, but...
I want me a Moriarty, and that story was actually kind of good. Screw you guys.
I mean, like, when it's just them reiterating the Arthur thing again, it wasn't even a new rate-up rerun, okay, yeah, I get what you're going for. But, when limited servants who haven't had rate-ups in a while get rate-ups, I'm like, but those are important, too, because sometimes rate-ups are bad. Like, I'm very glad I got Space Ishtar, because, guess what, guys? It's been like 2 years. She doesn't have a lot of rate-ups, somehow. I'm sure she will, because she is a Rin face, but, like, it's up there. It's like now in the rerun, and then that's it. Hasn't come back in JP yet. But okay, let's scooch on.
We scooch.
Scooching on.
So the next one comes from Bunny Girl meets new friends who are in master-servant relationship and somehow got the maid to fall in love with Bunny Girl. Are you in an ERP server or something?
Look, this person's playing Final Fantasy XIV, of course. He's shot.
Hey.
For speaking the truth. No, I kid. I don't know how bad it is. I do know that people make jokes about how horny Final Fantasy XIV is, but
I don't know. I flirt with one of my free company mates all the time. We're actually getting married next Thursday. It's great.
Well,
we're gonna have the most redonk. It's gonna be the most redonk wedding.
Everybody be sure to submit their wedding gifts now as super thanks in the chat.
Yes, please send super thanks so I can change their name to have their last name to be the same as me. It was a Shootin' banner in the comment interlude. Wrong lolly, wrong assassin lolly. God damn it!
Even know anymore. What is up? What is down? What is left? What is right? Lucky, what is our next mailbag?
Our next mailbag is, hey guys, no questions this week. I'll be enjoying a trip to an anime con for the first time in a year and a half. Good luck on the rolls and hope you don't get salt. Actually, that reminds me, I should make some meat jerky. Sorry, Lucky did this thing where I went from salt to preference to jerky to I should make jerky, and I just said the last thing.
Connection complete. No, I'm just thinking about how, nature is healing, people are returning to their natural anime convention environment. That's neat, that's cool. I don't think I have anything else to say about that. Thank you for your well wishes.
Thank you. We move on. This next one comes from King of Apples, otherwise known as he who saw the wiki and was traumatized. Which wiki? Question. Suppose DW put a Black Barrel replica to your head and made you choose to choose one buff or debuff to permanently be removed from games. What do you choose? I choose death.
Do it, you coward. You won't. Do it. I fucking dare you. I double dog dare you. Yeah, no, I honestly, well, first of all, yes, but also, I don't even know, like, how many different buffs are there and debuffs? I don't even fucking know.
Oh, and by death, I mean just pull the fucking trigger. I'm not here for this.
Yeah, basically, it's like, do it, you coward, you won't. If you want me to even consider the question, I literally don't even know. There's so many debuffs and buffs. Yeah, some of them are really annoying, but, like, would I want to remove them? Probably not. Like, what's the most annoying debuff? It's probably buff null, but even then, that you can fucking work around that.
Why is this boss missing so many things? Did it get in a wreck?
I mean, skill seal is annoying for you, but it also works the other way. Like, skill seals can actually be very useful for certain fights and stuff.
Yeah, because here's the thing: when you remove a buff or debuff, you don't only remove it for the enemy or yourself; you also remove it for your enemy or yourself. These things swing both ways.
Yeah, and I know the damage over time buffs, the different damage over time debuffs seem kind of redundant, but different servants have different relations to them, so you can build different stuff. So, I don't even know. Even damage plus can be useful in certain contexts, even though it's usually pretty weak, but also some servants have, really huge damage plus buffs. So, it's all about the tools. Tools of the trade.
So, with that, though, we shall move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from the Tire King, now going to binge all of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous? Cretaceous, yes. Now that Season 4 is going to be on Sorna and Spinosaurus is back. I have no idea what this show is.
It's a lot of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous knowledge you just dropped on me.
What? You broke
I
it
said
a
there's a
little.
lot of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous knowledge you just dropped on me.
Oh, it's a Netflix animated show. Okay.
For children. That's okay, we watch children's cartoons all the time, but I do want to throw that out there. I saw some YouTube ads, I was not interested. It's canon to the lore. No, it's not canon. Michael Crichton is dead. I'll be that guy. I like those books. The movies are weird. Anyway. We already have to work through this question, so I'm gonna eat another gold apple. No. I have a sneaking suspicion Lucky's Googling the show right now.
Alright, I'll work on that later. Anyway, they say, hey, guys, questions. If you were to introduce someone to anime, what anime would you recommend for an all-rounder? Has a bit of everything, ecchi, action, shonen, and slice of life. I asked because we're having a conversation about recommending anime in the Discord, and it got me thinking. I would pick Sword Art Online for the all-rounder, Rosario Vampire, To Love Ru, the OG, Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood OG, / Code Geass, and Sweetness and Lightning. Take care, have a nice evening, and farm bones responsibly. Oh,
I'm not gonna answer that question. You want me to, pick anime from, everything forever in, 4 different genres?
Yeah, no, that's...
I would think I would have to write an essay. Also, yeah, I don't think I would just be randomly introducing anybody to ecchi anime.
No, not really.
That's like you do that on the down low outside the white van when you know a bro is cool. Yo, bro, you need to check this shit out.
I know. Do they know the secret handshake and handshake? Do they come to the appointed meetings? Do they know the rules? All right, now you can get into good shit.
Up high, down low. Trip and falling boobs. Too slow.
Honestly, I don't want to necessarily give my recommendation because here's the thing. Here's the fucking wild thing, man. Everyone has their own acquired tastes.
It's true.
Like me, I'm a person of I consider myself a very cultured person when it comes to anime and stuff, but I will watch just about anything. I was like, is this garbage? Did I enjoy it? It's fucking fine. A lot of people be like, this is fucking garbage and you should hate it. I'm like, no.
You have a very wide palette when it comes to anime. You know what's good, but also sometimes you're just like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I can compare it to that most people would possibly get, though this is a weird analogy coming from me because I'm a straight edge, but it's probably like a drinking alcohol kind of thing. Some people are like, yeah, I know this is literal wine in a box, but it's cheap and I don't care. But also they can understand a fine wine. And then, some people are just like, no, I just drink box wine because it's cheap and expensive wine is fake. So,
yeah.
And then there's some people who, the equivalent of me in this analogy, don't drink at all. I don't like alcohol. And I don't like how several people have described forcing themselves to acquire the taste for alcohol. I'm like, that's weird. It's weird, guys.
No, so it's like, if you're doing recommendations for anime, do not try and have some basicness that you can refer to at any time. No, talk to the target, understand what they like, and then choose from there. Because, funnily enough, there is so much I was actually thinking about this compared to other media outlets. There is so much anime being fucking made. Jesus, you look at things.
I know Japan also does live action TV, but we don't really get that over here, right?
No.
So the only thing I can compare it to is think about how many TV shows are on like primetime network TV, right? Like,
Right.
There's a lot of new live action shit, and guess what? You don't watch every show that ABC debuts this fall, unless you're like some kind of TV head. So anime's the same way.
Yeah, like anime comes out with like 30 new titles and several movies like every 3 months.
Yeah.
Trust me, there's a lot to get through. And some things start out great, some things, end amazingly. Like, God, like...
This is why we have the fucking 3-episode rule.
Yeah. So, again, like, I'm not trying to cop out necessarily answer or give you some, like, tips or stuff, but it's really one of those things of, you can't just have a magic list that solves everything. You really can't.
No. I mean, like, even this person said, I would pick Sword Art Online. I'm like, I don't know about that, because I think there might be enough internet pop cultural osmosis you might turn some people off, because... There's a reason why that show is, I guess we'd say, controversial. Like,
yeah,
I don't
it's infamous.
but it's
infamous.
It's got a reputation, and some people are going to be like, oh, don't people say stuff about that show? Like, what you want to do is, you want to do like Lucky does with me, is you want to think about what people like, and you want to compare it to things. I think with pop cultural osmosis, books, especially if you know their weaknesses for YA fiction, but it can be any kind of genre novels, and video games are probably the biggest weakness. Like, if you know a guy likes big stompy robots, you can probably find him some mecha anime that suits him. If you know that a guy, likes swords and sorcery, you can work on that. There's anime for that. You can talk to about this show that's not anime, but it's made by anime guys that involves puppets.
Yeah, I love me some Thunderbolt fantasy.
I mean, and I think there's new ways to hook people all the time. Hey, a guy who's a huge Star Wars nerd? Show him Visions, which is both very Star Wars and very anime. And then, when he's like, damn, that shit was cool, you're like, hey, check this shit out.
You know those guys that made fucking, the Ninth Jedi? Projection IG? They made this shit.
Then you just slap them with Ghost in the Shell standalone complex.
Megas XLR is a fucking treasure, and I will forever be mad that it got canceled. Forever.
Yes, gateway anime. And there's so many things. And... This is why I think Lucky is right about the no list thing. The problem is that people who like anime will think there are quintessential anime titles that are too quintessentially anime. They play too much to the tropes and constrictions of anime that outsiders are not going to get it. Like, you can throw the most harem anime at somebody. If they don't know how harem anime works, they might not like it. They might be like, why the fuck are all these chicks in here getting in the way of this one main relationship I like? What the fuck is happening? Why does this main character never make a move? And you would tell him, well, it's harem. That's not how it works. You're supposed to like all the characters, and then you decide which pairing you like, and then you fight the other people in the fandom to the death. I mean, I think that is basically the marketing of harem shows, is just like, much. You try to, not necessarily manufacture, but you create an environment where you have lots of different characters with different charm points so that you get a wider audience to latch on, and then you automatically energize them because you have the main character bowl open for winning. And sometimes you drag that drama out for way too fucking long. Anyway.
Yeah, they do.
Don't worry, that happens in live action TV and shit too.
Well, actually, that reminds me, this week I should actually try and sit down and actually write some of my thoughts on some of the anime I am watching, because we do have some very good ones. Like, here's the thing, like, no matter, like, I guess my final thought is, no matter whatever anime is always going to be someone's first anime. I was talking about this a lot about when Babylonia was airing. Some people might not know shit about Fate and still decide to pick up Babylonia on a whim. And, from there might go on to further things, so...
I mean, hell, I do think Babylonia was actually shielded pretty good.
Yeah.
By, the various outlets and stuff, because, obviously, big money, no whammies.
Big money, no whammies.
So, yeah.
So, you don't necessarily have to, pull from, old things or things. Just, look at just look. Just look
also,
around you.
There is a certain point, yes, some old anime is still in 4x3. I don't think I could get somebody who doesn't remember Yu-Gi-Oh from their childhood to go back and watch old school Duel Monsters Yu-Gi-Oh, because boy howdy, ooh, those are not pretty. But plenty of animes in widescrreen. You have a wealth of decades you can show people shit from. How fucking old is Code Geass?
It's what, mid 2000s?
Yeah, it's got to be 20 years. Oh my god, is Code Geass 20 years old? No way, I was not 9 when Code Geass came out. But anyway, it's been several years. Hell, Fate Stay Night just had a 15th year anniversary, a couple years ago in JP, 17 years old now. So, like, yeah, I'm sure that's because that's a high-quality GIF that's gotten up there. I'm talking about how when you watch it on Crunchyroll, you've got black bars on the side, and you can tell the color palette is not HD, because somebody is probably hand-coloring those fucking cells, that poor schmuck.
Hey, listen, I still enjoy me some old classic. Listen, I still watch me some Golden Boy on the Reg. Like, if we're gonna talk, if you want to watch something quick and entertaining, I will definitely recommend Golden Boy. It's like 6 episodes. Oh God, it's stuff.
Once you get people, it's like classic films. You can get people hooked on the concept of anime and then throw them into old shit. Like, if I was trying to get somebody into like hypothetically, okay, this is another good scenario. Let's assume you have a child you are trying to introduce. You know, as you do with younger generations, you try to get them to like your same likes as you. I would not probably start showing my kid like Aliens for several reasons. Though healthy respect for watching your corners and fighting aliens is good. Newt is a role model, you know, hiding vents when danger happens. But like, I would probably not start with that because while it's all practical, it's also really retro and very boxy, and like Alien and Aliens used fucking DOS computers because they were made in the 70s and 80s, and a kid who is old enough to understand, you know, movies and TV and anime right now would be like, what the fuck is that? Is that a computer? You know, like, obviously humans who are adults have a broader context, but it's the same kind of thing, right, with retro stuff, and even with genres, you know, don't throw anybody in the deep end of the metaphorical pool, as Lucky has posted a pool gif. Because, like, yeah, some people will do that whole sink or swim thing, and then you'll, like, show your friend one anime, and then you won't hear from them from a weekend, and then, like, you realize that they've done nothing but hide under a blanket and watch anime in their darkened room all weekend, right? And that's when you know you've got a fellow otaku. You do the handshake, you hand him some Pocky and a body pillow, and you go home. Mission accomplished. But, like, other people are gonna, like, drown, and then they're gonna have a bad taste in their mouth. This happens with a lot of people. Like, just human psychology-wise. If we could, like, somehow make it so humans would not be grossly overattached to bad first impressions, the world would be a much better place.
Oh, yeah. We're really faffing about this, but I don't care. We have no bag half, really.
We have 17 mailbag questions. We have only just now hit the hour mark.
But
we're literally like halfway through these questions, I think. Or maybe like a third? The scroll isn't far. It's
not.
Faff away,
but like, that is definitely something you would, like again, with recommendations, you can't take others' first impressions on things. You have to sit down and watch it for yourself. There's been plenty of times where this is one of the reasons why I refuse to get into One Piece, because people are like, oh, it's so good, it's so great. I'm like, no, it's just so long and just so invested into it, you masochistic fucks, that you don't want to get out of it.
I suspect there's a lot of sunk cost fallacy with One Piece. But with, like, however many bajillion chapters they have, they can't all be bangers.
No. It's like, I used to read One Piece, I used to watch One Piece, and after a while I was like, no, this is just the same old shit with just different flavors, I'm done. But no, people will swear up and down, left and right. It's, oh, it's so goddamn great.
I actually read some of the early chapters of the manga. I tried to watch 4Kids edit, but it was dumb. And then I think I watched a little bit even of the Funimation version, and I was just like, it's alright. Mm-hmm. And obviously people will be like, but Omega, One Piece doesn't really start until like 100 episodes in, and I've got to say that what the fuck are those first 100 episodes for? I mean, you know, like, yeah, long-running shows are interesting, but like, it's rough when you don't know when to cut and when to skip, you know? Like, you don't possess that knowledge as a rando, and that's something you should take into account when presenting to people. This is a good general rule. Don't pick long run, like, unless you know they're gonna go for it, don't try to introduce somebody's first anime as like one of those, you know, 1,000 episodes shown in long runners, right? Listen, I love Naruto, I love Bleach. I accept that some people really love One Piece, okay? Do not try and make that somebody's like first anime in a genre. They will die. They will be dead.
Pick a solid 1 to 2 core thing.
Yeah, like honestly, you know, if they like giant robots or they like, you know, arguably like the emotional melodrama, like Code Geass is a good example. It's got a great soundtrack. The characters are very distinct. The sub and the dub are both very good. So if no matter what language preference you get them hooked on is good. This is an interesting thing I remember. Everybody drink. This was talked about on the second Assassin's Creed Assassin's Creed 2. Sorry. stream that OSP did, where Red and Blue were on the couch together virtually. Where Blue talked about how he could not stand the Italian dub of AC2 because it was translated by French people and they didn't fix the grammar. So the actual Italian in Assassin's Creed 2 is all fucked up because it's French people using French grammar for the Italian language, and it is not right. But they go into a bit of a back and forth about how like sub versus dub is not inherently better, and I think I agree with this point. It's more about what impact and what color does it have on the presentation. Because like you can get some dubs that have a great cast, they have great actors, but if they have shit directing or if the actors don't know what the fuck is happening, they can give you crappy delivery. We know a lot of great anime voice actors who got their start, decades ago when dubs were not good, quote unquote, because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They were, translating spreadsheets out of context and all that stuff. But also, you can get quote-unquote bad deliveries in the original language, Sometimes they, in Japan, what carries a character doesn't work if you're a English-speaking audience who doesn't speak fluent Japanese and is reading subtitles. Sometimes it doesn't carry. I think I've talked about this. Like, I actually prefer a lot of... I like a lot of dubs when there's a lot of European words in the anime. Because listening to Japanese people try and say non-Japanese place names it slays me a lot of the time. I think my number one example of this was Erega 7 AO, where it's set in like it starts in like Okinawa, but they quickly go to doing mecha stuff all over the world. But they're based in Europe, and like they have like all these like European ass names. Like one of them's Team Pied Piper. Their non-government superpower is called Generation Blue, or possibly Generation Bleu, like it's supposed to be French. In Japanese, they pronounce it, Generation Bleu. And you're like, I just see how you type that. That is not how you say that. Nobody is trying. Because they don't usually. That was actually... You know you're going to have a good time with a subbed anime if they have to have dialogue that references... English or other European languages, and they actually nail the pronunciation, and they fucking try. Like, that's effort. But that's, again, that's the kind of thing when introducing. Some people, I think we're getting better and better as, like, Netflix is making a killing with foreign language movies and TV.
Oh, yeah. Not
just Squid Game, but there's a lot of shit that's, like, French and Spanish that I see, like, Netflix recommending. I just don't sit down and watch a lot of it because, it's the same reason why I don't super watch anime is because, reading subs requires concentration slightly. But, like, some people won't listen to subtitled dialogue. Like, they just won't do it. They don't want to read. And, it be how it be. Lucky, do you have anything else on this? Otherwise, we probably should go ahead and move on.
No, I could offer the opposite side of why I prefer, like, OG languages over usually dub languages, but I think I've beaten that horse enough. No, that's the thing. That's the crux is tailor your list, be careful, there's a lot out there, and don't let other people's prejudices blind you to what could be something great, I guess.
But also remember, there's a lot of shovelware out there.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, not to be, like, too contrarian, but I think we can also say the reverse is true. Don't just feel like you're forced to like something just because everybody says it's great, too.
Well, yeah. Well, again, this is what I'm saying. Don't let prejudice. Yeah. Prejudice goes both ways. It can
be positive or negative, but just to put that in plain speak for people, like, that cuts both ways. That includes if you like something and everybody else thinks it's dumb and bad, whatever, their opinions don't matter, your opinion matters. But that also was like, if you're not into something that lots of other people are into, that's how it is, sometimes.
Oh God, it still makes me want. Yeah. Well, anyway, just no. We're gonna move on.
We got stuff to do.
Got stuff to do. Yes. So with that though, we're gonna move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from Paperclip.
You could be trying to write a question to Mailbag. Would you like some help?
Mm-hmm. Question. So I know it's too late, but support Spishtar with full party best of the store could have handled both LCQ and the Music Goes Game. I don't care. Why are you telling me this now? It's literally too late. Why are you telling me this? Do you think I'm going to remember this in a year? Why are you gloating?
Also, anyway. I think I said this last week. Yes, I know getting Pierce Invul would have made the Ellie quest easier, but I didn't want to do it again. because it's already really long, no matter even if you can do damage to her, because they did that dumb thing with Challenge Quest where they're like, oh, you do like 5 million damage, so everybody has big HP. And I'm like, okay, thanks, guys. Thanks for ruining it for me.
Anyway, they go on. Lucky says that Girl's Frontline is kind of dark, so he doesn't play it much for that reason. What kind of level of dark are we talking about? Can Lucky contextualize this? Example, is this Orobuchi Zero? Madoka's levels of dark or something else? It looks like it has/will have an anime adaptation. It actually already has an animation. It's actually kind of hilarious. It's a little chibi animation that's just all gags. It's very cute.
Yeah, Girls Frontline is one of those media properties that does the old, we have a, like, funny for coma thing, haha, and then also, I think, like, is it a new adaptation? Alternatively, this person may have gotten this confused with Arknights, which is different, because you've also said this about Arknights, and I do believe Arknights is getting an anime adaptation soon.
Well, Girls Frontline is getting a
new adaptation?
Yes.
Okay. It's hard to keep track. I believe both things are true.
Yes. But Girls Frontline is dark in the fact that things only get worse. Like, things kind of start... Like, it has a story and it has a fall through, but the more down you get down, the more you go, there is just more loss. Like, people are getting injured, people are getting lost, there's betrayals, there's conspiracy, there's backstabbing. There is very little...
Characters die, characters betray you, characters get caught up in horrible situations, stranded behind enemy lines, enemies constantly get stronger, they never fucking die because they're all robots, everybody's robots.
Yes.
You never solve anything, and all of the plots are about how horrible this thing is.
Well, no, and Legendary, it does not make sense for a bunch of World War II and World War II, because here's the thing, battles eventually end. Wars are eventually won or lost.
It's actually a really good point. I don't, because we haven't followed Girls Frontline in years,
and
I think they were talking about making a sequel app, but, like...
Yeah.
That the way, like, with the way Arknights is written, I can understand that there is probably a turning point, right? Like,
right.
You can kind of figure some shit out and start to do some work, but the size of the problem of the worlds of Arknights is always going to be bigger than Rhode Island, but eventually you could start to make positive change. And a lot of their side events are about either you having downtime or small stories where, yeah, bad stuff happens, but you can still enact positive change, right? Even if the main story is, like, still in the middle of that despair spiral. But also, as far as I know, like, we got pretty deep in Girls Frontline, and I was still catching up with, like, story and doing, like, late-game story events. Things were still just getting shittier and shittier all the time, and I'm like, I don't know how this turns around. How do we unfuck this? And if the point of the story is that you don't unfuck it, I'm like, okay, then why am I playing this game? Just write a really depressing web novel. Okay, thanks, bye. So, yeah, we'll have to see how the anime adaptation actually handles that. Depending on, like, how many cores they've blocked out, it may or may not actually be that bad.
No, they just handled the first stuff, because, like, again, like, the first few chapters is like, oh yeah, we're making inroads and stuff, but once they start digging into the virus, everything just starts down, so you start losing the AR team, there's betrayals, Rogue gets turned into a fucking dog.
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff.
You add team members, you lose team members, blah, blah, blah.
AO's plot is...
Also, I will throw this out there, Azure Lane's anime did this way better, because they managed to not be horribly depressing, because the plot of Azure Lane isn't actually that sad. It's just kind of, like, weird and existential. But also, they crammed way more plot into that anime than they did into the game. For which context, Tariana, you should clarify. For Girls Frontline. I don't know anything about it.
If it's the AR team, yes. The AR team is kind of the main character.
Actually, this is a good question. What are the characters called? Are they called just their gun names? Is that going to cause any problems with copyrights? Because sometimes video games don't have firearm brand names.
Good question.
Can we say Colt M4? Or is she technically M4A1? Well, yeah, I think AL realized nobody was playing for the plot. I think they tried to go a little more plot heavy in some of their stuff, like the extra war archives and whatnot, because they realized that they had built this rich tapestry of a world that nobody got to care about. Yeah, it's the AR team.
Okay.
Satmod AR-15, M4, M16. Autobus Japan producing. Sunboard and Mega Team are credited with the original story. Asahi Productions. That seems
original story. Oh, Mega Team.
No, they're credited with the original story. So
yeah, Sunboard and Mika. Okay.
Original story by Micah Team, because we wrote the game.
Anyway, I think we should move on. So yes, it's dark. It's like, it's not so much existential dread and stuff.
I have questions, though, based on this studio that's making this, though.
Asahi?
Yeah.
What they make?
Well, they've been around a while, but they seem like they've made a lot of, like, light stuff. Like, they got started doing some Hello Kitty animations, series for children called Sugar Bunnies.
I mean, that isn't completely off. I can't remember what it was, but there was an anime that actually turned out really good that was done by, that did,
Okay, they did, like, Akudama Drive in, like, 2020. All right. It's just, it seems like their ratio is they have a lot of, like, their main market is, like, producing cartoons for, like, small children. And then, like, a lot of they occasionally sneak in some more dramatic stuff.
But if they did Akudama Drive and they work for 86, they'd be fine. Akudama Drive is actually really fucking good.
Okay. Like I said, I was just kind of, like, very surprised as I start scrolling down this list, and I'm like, wait a minute. Their first couple of series are, like I said, Sugar Bunnies and Hello Kitty, and I'm like, these people are making Girls Frontline? Is this gonna be alright? But no, it says Girls Frontline 2022, so.
Like, now it's time just to pause Akudama Drive. Like.
Ooh, that animation is sick. 12 episodes, licensed by Funimation, I still pay those bills.
Yeah, no, honestly, like I said, I don't know if you'll necessarily like it, Omega, but it's a very interesting premise. Oh god, what's
very pretty. It's very
what
very
is
look for it.
What do I want to? Oh, hang on one second.
Anyway, I think we may or may not talk about some other stuff with the pitch and whatnot, but to the original question of, like, Girls Frontline, like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we got it there. Like, I don't know exactly what the scale would be because I'm not familiar with all those Genro Witchy works, but, like, as far as I know, Girls Frontline doesn't ever have a happy ending yet. So if they're actually directly adapting the plot, like, you know, don't expect it to be super cool and end well.
Mm.
But also, you know, they might just you never know what they're gonna do. Okay.
But okay, we move on. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. So we move on. This next one comes from The Eternal Storm, who says, "Hey guys, hope you're both keeping strong and active. Question: is there a servant that you want to see a welfare version of that has not gotten one yet? Thank you both for your time." I mean, I'm sorry, cheap answer. I would love like a welfare Tamamo.
Tamamo has not gotten a welfare. She deserves it. Other than that, I head empty, no thoughts. I don't know. You guys, people keep asking me, like, anime questions about stuff. Yeah, I guess Summer Aresh as a welfare to, like, complement Ishtar. That's the only parody I have. That's it.
Still think we should get. No, I think we should have a Christmas Aresh to complement it.
That would also be funny.
Yeah.
It could also you could work in the references, like, because, like, Ishtar would be like summer and then Aresh would be winter.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But
Buki hasn't even been out a full year, so you're gonna be waiting.
You might get a summer Buki though.
Could get a summer Buki next year. That will be interesting. I don't know how they'd pull off the gimmick, but I mean, they made Summer Kama, so
I'm about to say, I'm pretty
more
sure
talking about, like, the, you know, they had Raida go ham with, like, the Virgin Killer sweater and some of the other weird stuff. But I mean, Murasaki also had some weird costume shit in her summer too, so I don't know. You can't underestimate Raita.
No. Who else would I want as a welfare? I'm not sure. But, unfortunately, I have nothing else on that, so we're going to move on. So this next one comes from a master trying to honor No Nut November with Kiara and Kama giggling menacing in front of me. I've never understood No Nut November.
I think it's one of those meme things. Somebody made a funny alliteration and the internet does something with it. What I mostly see is people use it as an excuse to be even more horny.
As if you need an excuse.
No, humans, the internet, but, like...
Anyway, they say, "Hey, Lucky and Mega didn't realize we were in the power levels of bullshit era of gauging servants in FGO. When were we not? You right there, Omega?"
No. I don't know what that was.
What happened? Fuck.
My mic gain got a little weird again.
Yeah, it did.
I should just hold on. Let me make sure that the cord's for me. I sound a little echoey to myself, but we got some weird reverb. I'll take it out in noise edit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why there's no. I mean, I got fans going, but yeah, I don't know what that all is.
Thanks for the clarification from last week. I'll bear that in mind as I bring Hans to all my story quests. Yes, Hans is also bullshit.
I mean, yes, but also taking him to story quests would mean that he dies most of the time. His power level, as far as servants are concerned, is very, very shitty. And since you don't usually win most fights by punching them yourself, most fights, it is definitely a thing where he is not well suited normally to the kinds of horseshit we have to deal with. There's a reason why he's usually a literal support character in events he's in.
Yeah. That makes sense. So clearly this person is just being sassy.
Yes.
Okay, then I'm gonna skip them. We move on.
I mean, they did the fucking eyebrow smiley face.
Yeah.
Though thou hast been soused. I really lost that one there. I'm gonna blow up more skeletons.
Robin's asking if you can get the story of Girls Frontline without playing the game. Probably somewhere. I'm pretty sure someone has written it down.
You can.
I don't mind it.
Robin, remember, we live in the YouTube age. I'm dead certain you can just go, hey, YouTube, show me all the cutscenes for Girls Frontline. That's gotta be a thing somewhere.
That's someone's content creation gimmick.
Yeah. So yes, you can probably watch somebody play through all the story. You can also probably find summaries online. Or alternatively, you can watch this new anime coming January 2022, apparently.
Mm-hmm. So, with that though, we move on. This next one comes from Fortnite Certified Podcast Listener. Please do not please listen to your podcast while operating a forklift.
But did he try to kill you with a forklift?
Ole. Oh, someone actually found a link. So, they say, hi, Duel Master Omega and Scooterless Lucky. Yes, that is me. I'm Scooterless. First time participating in Mailbag this week and just wanted to start out as thanks for the podcast. There's not many FGO-related content out there that I can listen to for hours on end at my boring job, and you two help keep me entertained. I'm sorry, I can't English. Well, thanks for listening. I appreciate you, but please practice responsible workplace safety.
Always wear ear and eye protection. Wear hard hats in designated areas. Don't drink in forklift. You say that, Legendary. We used to do that. Back when recording on my phone was easy, I used to capture events for people who cared. And we actually got views on some of those videos. But then YouTube and like Google stuff went away, and you can't do as good of in-app video capture anymore.
I can do things on my phone, but I'm never like, no one's ever really told me if they want to watch me play FGO during Star Race and hear my events and stuff. I don't know, so I'm like, meh. Anyway, they say, early this Monday, I was early awakening the Scotty Banner because last summer I was lucky enough to roll an MP5 Amendantas off a few hundred Saint Quartz, but didn't have a single Scotty to support him. Now that she's here, I was prepared to break out the credit card, if need be, but to my surprise, I rolled her on my very first single summon turn. This guy... used. That's probably all my luck gun for the next year, so I might as well start saving for Redacted. Now, my question for y'all this week is something similar happened to you two. Have you ever been prepared to go balls deep into your wallet for a server and only be pleasantly surprised to get them on your very first roll? Apologies for the long intro this week. It was just decided to share the story with some fellow FGO players since none of my friends play. Have a great weekend, everyone.
I mean, yes, people seem to enjoy back when we did FGO streams when Lucky would stream every week, separately from me streaming every week, which was probably better for our views, but was almost assuredly more soul-sucking. Robin,
you say that, I just feel like you just want to mock me and make sassy comments and backhanded compliments.
No, what Robin is saying is he just wants you to talk like normal while also producing content that people will click on, I think. Which is how we usually treat our FGO content. Like, people just show up to say random things and yell at you to judge their support setups for some reason. We made money that way once upon a time.
Oh god, that's right. I did do that.
Anyway, to this question, I don't know if Lucky's ever had this particular scenario. I'm trying to think. Was there anything that I did I ever get right away? I think I have, but I can't remember the specific servants. It's never happened to me with anybody I've really, really saved for. Ishtar, Aresh, Space Ishtar, they all came after a few 10 slots. I don't know if she was first. I think Summer Musashi came very fast, but obviously that didn't help me because I was going ham for Summer Carmilla 2 still, and that one didn't happen for a long time after. I did get Merlin in 110 spin, but I wasn't going ham for him. That was just they gave me 30 Saint Quartz, I'll do the thing, because everybody's rolling for Merlin, right? Merlin. That's not quite the same. I think that's my most closest to that story, but I can't think of any specific examples. Have you, Lucky, ever gotten astonishingly lucky on the gacha? Do you remember?
The only one that I remember was Summer 2, first banner. I got Nero on my first summon ticket, and then I got a second Nero on, another ticket before I even pulled any quartz. No, that's right. I got everything on tickets before I even started pulling quartz, and I was just all
oh, yeah.
Huh. But also, guys, remember, this was the year of 13 Raikos.
Yes. You paid for your hubris.
Yes, I did.
Well, yeah, for roll streams, Lucky makes a much better roll streamer because he'll pause the screen and go break out the credit card. I look at my bank account and go, nah, not today. I got the shit I
People
want to do.
People want it. I'll stream my New Year Yang rolls.
They'll probably enjoy it. Also, I have been told that we will probably sometime around Christmas and New Year's we will probably have a large family gathering because the quarantinifying. I don't think we're going anywhere, but I may or may not be free during the end of the year. We'll see. I love the inclusion of the Dimmick's head bob in this GIF. Just chilling.
Oh, I do wish. Well, actually, if cons are happening, Sakura Con is probably going to happen. I should probably go this year. If nothing else, I need to go buy more merch.
Uh-huh.
Aniplex are going to have a completely overpriced store there, but it will save me the hassle of having to deal with people. Fuck yeah!
Maybe I'll cross-order you some business cards. Throw out business cards like Peter Quill for Guardians of the Galaxy.
So, with that, though, we're going to move on.
That question.
So, this next one comes from Sakura Fan 07, Farming for Bones! That reminds me, I need to push buttons.
Yeah, I'm still pushing buttons. I said, oh my god, by the way, because I just, boy, we only have, 17 questions, but some of these you guys are killing it with the line breaks again.
I give this one a pass. It's not like a line break after every sentence.
No, it's true, but, we've got 4 paragraphs here.
Oh, okay. So, hey, Lucky Mega, how are you guys? We'll have the Quest 6 that's just released, and who knows what NA/Kobo will have for this Thanksgiving extravaganza. Time for LB5, there's a lot of BS approaches. But it's not here yet. Here are your queries for the week. Lucky, first off, is your scooter... Okay, you know what? I'm no longer answering questions about my goddamn scooter. No more. I'm done. You're beating this to death. Stop it.
Yeah, I don't know why you thought for the past 18 weeks that this was still funny.
I'm done with this.
And if you're genuinely concerned about his scooter, I mean, it's not like he'd let you know.
I'll let you know. Here's the flow chart. Has Lucky talked about his scooter? Yes, that means it's probably fixed. No, it's still not fixed. Done. So I'm skipping you and moving on. And Omega, here's your query. What connection does K&K have to Melty Blood / Tsukihime, since the previous Melty Blood titles have Ryogi Shiki and Kaoru Tono? Are they in the same universe, same timeline? Would make a Tsukihime crossover collab more interesting. Not sure Mashu would appreciate having to compete with CL for cute Kohai, though.
You're wrong. CL is Senpai.
Yeah,
also,
no, she's older.
If you want the answer to this question, give me $5 and vote in the poll, nerd.
This is
literally one of 2 options this month.
By the way, it's the Aozaki sisters one.
Yeah, the other one.
Yeah, the other one.
And I will tell you how that poll is doing after mailbag. So stay tuned for news.
Hope you guys are okay. We're in the home stretch of the year. Just one unknown with Thanksgiving. We Padaru through Nightingale Christmas, Lotto, and soon LB5. The journey is soon at a decisive moment. Let's get through Atlantis so we can either rocky kick with Daime in the Nads, run with Daime over, or we're really feeling some sort of way to say Kiara on Daime and she can do things while the rest of Kadeon takes on hands. Go King Chaldea. You are very vicious.
You're very mean. Well, Daime just wants to look fab and, resurrect the Age of Gods. He's pals with Zeus, don't you know? Also, I mean, I make no promises. We've done 4 lost belts. I know how these things go.
Listen, well, Daime's probably going to have some contrived reason that's going to probably paint him in some sort of sympathetic light to why all this shit's happening.
He'll just, we'll get to the end of the lost belt and he'll be like, I'm sorry, bro, hug it out, and then he just throws you off the Olympus back into the Atlantis. Ah! But also, we do know from Lost Belt 2 that he's not, a complete asshole. He did let his soul get, tortured a bajillion times so his friends could be brought back to life and not just him.
Yeah. Anyway.
4 left.
The next one comes from sharing ice cream with my newly arrived Snow Queen. Hi there, you great lads. Good whatever time it is for you guys. Question. Who are the biggest threats to your St. Court savings and wallet should they get a Thanksgiving banner?
Well, no threat to my savings. I don't have any.
Oh, no.
I told you. I spent literally every St. Courts basically on Space Ishtar. And then I think I did 1 10 spin on MHXA. I got nothing. I did 1 10 spin on Scotty with the 30 they gave me, and I'm down to 10 St. Courts again. So I don't got fucking anything for Thanksgiving. I better hope they give us big bonuses. But if it's Musashi again, then I'm gonna have to think about my wallet because I mean I'm already $80 in on that one and no regular Musashi. So when does sunk cost fallacy stick in?
For me, I'm trying to avoid spending on things that I like that are not my top tier waifus. So, and as you guys know, my top 2 waifus are Sakura faces and Tamamo faces. Fortunately, the only Tama mode that I do not have MP5 is Tama Lancer.
I do not think that would be Thanksgiving.
Probably not. But also, if they were to bust out, I know again it's highly unlikely, but if they were to bust out Melt or Kama, I'd be very much in danger.
They might, because I think Melt is on the actual rate-up schedule for New Year's. They could move that up. I don't know.
Maybe. But like I said, Lucky is hard saving to try and get MP1 Consort Yang. Then to throw stuff for summer, maybe. I'm still not sure. Lucky as addition. I know I've said this plenty of times. I'm going to say it again. I've gotten every summer, every year so far. At least in MP1. But I definitely want to max out all my Sakura faces. So that means I have to somehow get a NP5 Summer BB. That's going to be pain if that happens. NP5 Melt, which will be a pain. And an MP5 Passion Lip and an MP5 Kama, which is pain. Like I said, so this is why I'm trying to save big for the OQ rerun / main interlude campaign, because those happen pretty much back to back next year.
Yep.
And then after that, it's back into the whole savings hole for a little bit. Oh man. But no, so if they came up with a Kama Melt or Tama Lancer, I'll be fucking dead. Or Summer BB, I suppose. But like I said, I really highly doubt they're going to put Summers on the Thanksgiving banner. Highly doubt.
Well, I mean, you say that. I do think Summer BB has been a New Year's rate-up servant once upon a time. So I don't know.
Don't do that to me.
But that's because they really fucking love to put the CCC servants on at New Year's. It happens a fucking lot. But yeah, no, I already said mine. I think there's a second half of this we didn't get to yet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so isn't there a second half of this question we didn't get to?
Okay, that'll be all for this week. Hope you're doing well, and I wish everyone luck in their preparations for the next 1-2 months. The next month 1-2 punch, excuse me, I read that wrong, of LB 5.1 and Christmas Lotto.
Also, that's backwards. It's the other way around. Christmas Lotto, then story. So you should have plenty of EXPs and stuff saved up for all your new servants. Don't worry, Internet. Awkward pauses gets cut out in editing.
Summer BB was on the 2020 New Year's campaign. Oh no! Ah!
Vibing. Yeah, I mean, that basically guarantees that she's Thanksgiving or New Year's, but we don't actually know.
My wallet!
I mean, is that shared with Yang? You could go for a Splitsies rate-up day.
I'll have to check.
We'll see what happens with Thanksgiving, because we genuinely don't fucking know with those guys.
Oh no, it's Solo. Why?
Solo? Oof. Slight oof.
Alright, moving on. Lucky doesn't want to think about this. This next one comes from Agent 418, who says, "Hello, Lucky and Mega. With Skadi coming back, do you think she needs a buff? I think it would be nice if her Vega could only be bypassed by sure hits. P.S. Wanted is a great catalyst for summoning. Get fancy."
Thumbs up. Watch Wanted. I need to record a 30-second video and put some fucking audio effects in there and do a Hypnotoad format and just say, "Watch Wanted, Watch Wanted, Watch Wanted," over and over again. I'll put it in a playlist called Things to Listen to While You Sleep.
Oh no.
10 hours Omega ASMR, it's just Omega saying, "Watch Wanted." We should probably do a 10-hour video just for Yoke sometime, see how that does, but I don't even know what it would be.
I mean, I can do playing games or whatever, but
yeah, not like a
like I said,
we've got ideas for marathon type stuff. I meant just dumb loop stuff.
Oh, dumb loop.
Yeah, just something to see if it works. Different from streaming. I think streaming in videos reacts differently on the YouTube. Anyway, I don't know if Skadi needs a buff. I mean, we make the joke about whether or not her, people use her NP, but one, I don't know if that coding works for, super evade when there's invul and, space reinforcement, no pierce invul, whatever. Magic super silver invul. I don't know if that works in programming. Would that be, a new kind of evade? I don't think they would do that, though, because what it sounds like the way you phrase that is that means that pierce wouldn't work, which is not how that mechanically works. But no, I don't really think she needs a buff. People who actually get in long haul Skadi fights do actually say her NP is fairly useful and good, so I don't know. I mean, if they wanted to, improve some of her numbers on her NP, I don't know what they're but maybe. But in general, I think she does the thing that people want her to do pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Audience, let me know. Is there something you think your Skadi should be doing that she doesn't? Tell us in the comments below.
Yes, clearly her battery should have pierce invul so she can just smack everybody.
Skadi gives herself Pierce Invul when she batteries somebody else.
Yes.
It's meaningless.
Exactly.
Skadi gives herself NP damage up. What? I mean, there'd be some people who'd be like, oh, does Skadi's NP do damage? Never used it? It's like sticking Black Grail on MASH. We have fun here.
All right. We're gonna move on. The next one comes from Grab and Dragon. He goes, how goes break week? You guys played a game of music on, right? I noticed that Spacious Star's NP theme is a remix of her Babylonia OST. Same with Avenger Ushi's Rip being NP. I don't know why I said Rip. Oh, that's because if you like kind of break it, N looks like an R and an I smashed together, and I think my eyes are going out of light slightly. Ushi's NP being corrupted Ushi's Babylonia OST. Just a funny thing I noticed just now. This is what we like to call leitmotifs, my dude.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a musical structure. And this is something that Fate is usually very good about. Like,
oh, yeah.
You have heard the theme called Sword of Promised Victory before, and also Unlimited Blade Works. Because those themes have been consistent for, like, Artoria and Emiya, or at least, Unlimited Blade Works, since the original visual novel, and they keep using those sound beats because fans know that, and then they keep remixing them. Like, Unlimited Blade Works has so many different variations, all of which are very memorable. The fucking, Sword of Promised Victory theme has been, like, used as, like, in the Camelot chapter, for instance, it was used as, like, a minor variation for, like, the fighting the Knights of the Round and stuff. There's a lot of cool different stuff in there. As to the OG question of, play with the sound on, most of the time, yeah. I mean, when we're farming and stuff, no. Because this game's been out for 4.5 years, so I know most of the default ones. But, no, with new music, I mean, I'm one of those schlubs who actually buys jukebox tracks with mats, so, yeah. I listen to music.
Same here. Listen, one day I would like to get a record player just so I can be that fucking schlub who has vinyl records of music for no goddamn reason. I don't even know if vinyl is actually better, but I just want a vinyl record player. I just want that record scratch,
Some people talk about the sound, but I mean, it's I don't know.
It's classy, though. It's super classy.
I think vinyl's scratchless easier than CDs. Like, they're more durable, obviously, because you can play old-ass vinyls if they've been well kept.
I mean, I find it amazing that they actually still put out vinyl EPs and whatnot. Like, I can go on, like, Square Enix store right now and buy, like, the vinyl. Well, it's not out right now, but I can pre-order the vinyl for, like, Endwalker. The track that actually hasn't come out yet. I'm just all like, I kind of want that.
I think it's... I do believe that if you have the right setup, playing records actually has, like, some fidelity aspects that are better than CDs. Oh. But really? For the most part, it's mostly a, like, prestige thing, because, like, soundheads swear by the quality of vinyls.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I think if you accidentally drop a vinyl on its face, it's not gonna, like, get scuffed and be lost forever.
Forever!
They also only explode if you spin them at, like, 5,000 RPM, so...
Alright. Well, I'm going to move on. So this next one comes from... I got 2 more.
Oh, really?
Because I had 17 total.
Well, I also have Pressure 17. Did we get a different order there?
Yeah, well...
Sometimes it does move stuff around.
Yeah. So anyway, this one comes from Illiterate in QP Hell. I'm in it, but like, Illiterate in QP Hell, I am in it, but like, I have what I want leveled, so, I got it. I'm sorry, I had to...
Are you really in?
I don't know what I had to do there. I had to do something. Anyway, they say, question, any modern horror characters you would like to see as a servant? Horror things from, like, the 1850s or later. Things like urban legends or horror things that gained popularity recently, 1950s or later.
This is actually 1950s both times. Doesn't count, internet. It's against the rules.
Oh, actually, it's actually interesting. I was actually having talks about this because, Lucky has a very bad habit. It's very toxic. He should not do this. I go and read internet comments occasionally.
That's always a dangerous business. But I also occasionally read internet comments.
Mm-hmm. And I saw someone talking how they were using Frankenstein's monster as an example for why transhumanism is bad. And I was all like, no. And
that's about you, Claude.
But we got on this a bit of discussion about
what Frankenstein is actually, what Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, aka the modern Prometheus, is actually about.
Yes, and from there the conversation didn't get to go too far from there, but we tangent a little bit how a lot of...
I'm going to resume recording. I apologize for that service interruption, everybody. I really need to get up and go blow my nose, but I like he was saying interesting things, and I didn't want to interrupt him or miss him speaking, and then I did anyway. Damn my hubris. Anyway, I went and got a drink of some sparkling water, so I may burp slightly. But we're back. You were in the middle of, well, we were in general in the middle, but you were in the middle of a particularly interesting tangent about Gothic horror at Frankenstein.
Oh.
And what it's about.
So...
Which is not about transhumanism bad, by the way, because it's from 1818.
It's not about transhumanism isn't good. It's about don't play fucking God, and if you do play God, don't be a fucking spoiled poor parent. Like, again, take a drink, but OSP, like I said, I actually watched OSP's thing on Frankenstein because I was like, oh yeah, huh.
That wasn't
I was like, yeah.
Watched.
Nope. You probably
Yeah, I see the YouTube history. You went down the hole.
Yeah, I went down the hole.
There's good videos every Halloween. They're good.
Yeah. But this is definitely one of those things of, like, modern monsters kind of had this weird thing. It's like, we're definitely in the monsters are sexy times now, but, like, back, 1950s, you know, when we're back in, like, when,
even earlier than some of the...
Yeah.
I know this person said the category of the 50s, but arguably...
No, but, like, honestly, that's, like...
Golden Age of cinema.
Yeah, I guess that's, like, the atomic age. But, like, the silver screen of a cinema started, like, 1930s, 1940s, and that's when we started getting our classic monster movies and whatnot.
Yep. Boris Karloff, Frankenstein. Where he was...
Lugosi, Nosferatu.
Yeah. I mean, I said this in our Discord chat when this conversation came up, which people in patron chat referenced while I was gone there for a little bit, took my tiny vacation. The actual, like, Bela Lugosi Nosferatu is way closer to Dracula than most people think. Like,
yeah, I know, but, like...
Castlevania Dracula is cool, but, like, the OG Dracula is a weird old dude, with hairy palms and stuff, and to make you into a vampire, he makes you drink blood from his nipples. It's gross and weird. What the fuck is wrong with you, Bram Stoker? But, like, it definitely kept a lot of the gross and weird elements and dumbed down a lot of the more intellectual questions that were common in Gothic horror at the previous time period.
Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things of, like, 1950 monster movies, they're just, like, monsters. They usually don't actually have any particular rhyme or reason. They're just big and scary and there for cheap thrills. Like, you can say that's kind of what, like, spawned on, like, the modern horror and thriller. It was just all, like, it's something scary and not human, and it wants to eat you for some odd reason. So it's a little... Yeah,
classic horror... transmuted into the slasher genre.
Yeah.
Which is interesting in its own right, and there's some very interesting slasher movies that set up a lot of genre conventions, but, like...
Yeah, no, because then you move into, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween, The Exorcist.
Yeah, so the order of this, by the way, was Halloween, I think, did it first. Or at least set the tone. Like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out first, but that's different than how slasher movies work. One, it involved a chainsaw, but also it was, like... That was a different kind of, like, weird rural horror that was in the earlier 70s.
Mm-hmm.
About just, like, the idea that you could roll up into any rando place in America, and possibly those people were cannibal hillbillies.
Oh, no.
Whereas Halloween really turned it into the suburban horror, like, 80s panic about, hey, what's happening with our teenagers these days? Are they drinking? Are they having sex? Are they talking behind our backs? Are they possibly being murdered by spree killers? And that was kind of the angle of Halloween, which was just like, hey, guess what? Horror doesn't just live in the middle of nowhere, Kansas. It lives in your suburbs. Watch the fuck out. And then Friday the 13th was literally like the next year. I remember this from movies that made up a great Netflix docuseries. They literally called the production company for Halloween and were like, hey, yo, we want to make one of those slasher movies. And he was like, nah, I'm busy. So, like, they just made their own thing in the woods in, like, a whole bunch of little time. And it was very interesting. And I think Wes Craven was involved with that, which is why he moved on to not Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, which is, like, way more, like, weird and wacky, right? And trippy.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's Wes Craven. I mean, he made The Thing, which... The thing is, that's classic still...
Well, he didn't solo make The Thing. The Thing is credited to John Carpenter, who also did Halloween.
They did it? No, maybe I was thinking...
John Carpenter's The Thing.
Ah, fuck.
Wes Craven was in the background for a lot of these movies. I'd have to double check. But he was definitely the major mind behind Nightmare on Elm Street. And it's weird to see all these guys, like, hanging out, doing this work, kind of competing and then evolving. And then, it goes into different places.
Oh, wait, no. Wes Craven was in The Hills Have Eyes. That's what it was. Never mind.
That makes sense. That's another one of those really fucked up movies.
I was about to say, I was like, wait a minute, no.
But yeah, Wes Craven has a pedigree for his weird shit, and he really got out there. I think he was even tied to some of the Hellraiser stuff later.
Maybe Hellraiser is weird to me. Hellraiser is really fucking weird to me, guys.
Hellraiser is not a slasher series. That is like a weird torture porn series that gets dumber because people liked Pinhead more than whatever the plot of Hellraiser was. Those movies are really like interesting in a meta context, but also they're much more like MC Escher than slasher movies are. Also, slasher movies are not what you think they are. Jason doesn't even wear the hockey mask until part 3.
Yeah.
Spoilers,
but it became...
Jason isn't even the killer in Friday the 13th. It's his mom. He only shows up in the stinger at the end.
Well, I think that's like... Well, Friday the 13th, I think, plays more to, like, you know, Psycho than,
Well,
like
yeah,
listening.
They literally got the... well, not the Psycho actors, but they got a classic, actress like Hollywood royalty to come down and play the weird, creepy mom. Oh, and she, by the way, she didn't give a shit about that movie. Like, she was totally just out there smoking, being like, whatever. Halloween also did kind of a similar thing, though, because in case you guys didn't know, Jamie Lee Curtis, her mother is the woman in the shower in Psycho.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
No, they made some choices in casting. It was great. It's pretty rad. Jamie Lee Curtis,
but like that,
by the way. But like that to go back to our point, that kind of like modern slasher horror, which is something I do not think FGO will go, or any Fate stuff will go directly to, though they may do references, obviously, to kind of tie this back to the original question we started in. Not that it matters. I think we've only just barely crossed the 2-hour mark. A nothing show for us, a nothing burger show. Certainly no 5 or 6 hours. But no, like, those movies come from, like I said, that, like, suburban, like, psychological horror time. A lot of the slasher movies do, because you brought up Psycho, do call back to, which was the 50s, Hitchcock, which was a very specific type of filmmaking that focuses on, like, the absence of the horror, and then gets you when you show that little thing. It lets your imagination run wild.
Yeah, like...
It's a very different ethos than a lot of classic monster movies. This reminds me of something else I was going to bring up. If you think about those classic monster movies, think about classic monsters. Like, Wolfman, not a real thing until movies. Werewolf lore is all over the place.
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah, that's a great one, too. I talked about it, I think, last week when it came out. Or was about to come out. Yeah, no, it was that Friday, yeah, so I literally talked about it last week. But another classic, Creature from the Black Lagoon, you see this referenced all the time. What even is that?
Nope. The Swamp Thing, you know...
Yeah. Like, yeah, H.P. Lovecraft did Fishmen, but it's not like he broke out in the 20s and 30s, you know? He didn't live that long, for sure.
I should probably watch those beyond that, too.
It's a whole, like, interesting thing these kinds of genres are built upon, and talking about, like, gothic horror, to go back to our Frankenstein point, like, a lot of those, like, Dracula and Frankenstein, I think, are, like, 80 years apart or something.
Something like that.
Mary Shelley was early 1800s, Dracula was late 1800s. But they're both in that same classic gothic horror style where basically you pick up the book and it's presented to you like you're reading a book that somebody in universe wrote. Like, Frankenstein is phrased as basically the letters of, I don't even remember the character's name. I called him Arctic Science Nerd.
He is Arctic Science Nerd.
He's on a boat. He's going to go explore the Arctic and do science stuff. But he stumbles into Victor Frankenstein alone, dying of exposure on the Arctic, pulls him onto the boat, and Victor is like, before I die, let me tell you my entire life story and how I'm a schmuck. And then he proceeds to tell him his entire life story about how he was a schmuck and literally fled so hard from his problems, he fled to the Arctic.
Well, he didn't flee from the Arctic. That's when he was chasing the monster after, you know, he fled from his problems so hard.
That's true, yes. The monster fled to the Arctic, but, like, there's a lot of fleeing going on. It's familial to the Frankensteins. And, like, he's driven himself literally to death. He tells his entire story. He dies. And then the monster shows up and tells his entire life story. Kind of. To the freaked out guy. And then is like, now I will go into the Arctic and die. Goodbye. Good. And, like, it's you know, I think I said before, there are times when there's, like, multiple framing devices pocketed in there. And Dracula's the same way. It starts out as Jonathan Harker's, like, letters back home, and then it transitions into...
Telegrams?
Yeah.
Between Mina Harker, Mina before she got married, and...
Letters between Lucy.
Lucy, that's what it was.
Yeah, Lucy and Mina, and then ends with just basically the investigation team's notes as they hunt fucking Count Dracula. So, yeah. The framing device is very important. And it's something that doesn't translate to film very well. I think I said what I think the modern comparison is like found footage.
Yeah.
Or Paranormal Activity. I've actually watched one of the older Paranormal Activity movies. I don't know what they're doing these days, but like the security camera style where you're just watching security camera footage and then something weird happens is very freaky.
The mockumentary.
Yeah, where just like it's just I think it was the second one, but it was just security camera footage of their home, and you're just minding your own business, and then, you see, like, shit fall over, whatever. And then at the climax, you get, like, slow build as the Paranormal Activity gets stronger and stronger to, like, I think it's, like, the wife gets, like, sucked out of the hallway by an unseen force and thrown in a room and the door shuts, and then when she comes out, she's just being all creepy because she's clearly possessed by an evil force and stuff. Like, that kind of goes back to something you mentioned earlier with The Exorcist we didn't really drill down into. The Exorcist is also freaky.
But, like, I guess the thing is, I really can't necessarily think of a... Well, let me take this back. I can't think of a North American 50s urban legend or something. If we were to go to, like, pick from Japanese, we can probably get some shit.
Also, Japanese... I think a very important detail that I was about to bring up that does work for the Japanese as well is the public domain. Because shit from the 50s and then, like, stuff that is referenced later in like the 60s and whatever, 70s, still in copyright. Like let me double check how 70 years. So like we've just hit the copyright exclusion for 1950. So and that's life of the artist plus 70 years. BT dubs. So there's a lot of this ethos where like if those things are actually like by people, right, like they are not just general urban legends, which there are some that, like you said, I don't know of how many are super really that good. Like let me see, I literally like when did we even like start Bloody Mary? I don't know. I mean, that was a tale from my elementary, but let me see here. Bloody Mary, urban legend. I don't want the movie. I just want the fucking myth. Oh, Percy's only. I talked about that earlier. No, we don't actually have time for that. Somebody brought up, are we going to get the Quetzalcoatl rerun over here? No, I don't think we've got time for that. We've only got like a gap week and then Thanksgiving, which, much like downloads, will probably be its own thing because it will probably have like multiple campaigns rolled into it, and then we just immediately do the other thing. I don't think they're going to do the Quetzalcoatl rerun over here. That would not be the appropriate JP experience. Yeah, it's weird. There's a lot of sources cited on Bloody Mary in Wikipedia.
Oh, here we go. Bloody Mary. Okay, here we go. Bloody Mary folklore. Let's see here. Divination. There's nothing really on a history.
Yeah.
Although it looks like they do say there was a things with.
Yeah, like I think the only thing I've got that's time based here is because you are also reading the Wikipedia article.
Yeah.
Is they explicitly call out a greeting card from the early 20th century, so early 1900s, about the divination ritual. Let me see if I can find details on this media image. It's in the public domain, so the media image is in the public domain, and it's got the kind of ethos sometime before 1920. So this person actually, we haven't got to their question, but they mentioned Bloody Mary.
Okay.
Which is why I brought it up. So, like, yeah, Bloody Mary is a classic, but definitely it's more of the Japanese ghost stories. Like that Wikipedia article literally forks into Hanako-san Ghost, an urban legend from the 50s. There's a lot of other classic Japanese ghost stories and urban legends. It's a whole fucking genre of fiction, basically, over there, like a specific style of horror, which they could reference more directly. But I don't know. I would want more ideas what you have besides the like I said, the Bloody Mary thing that they actually talk about later. But we should probably finish their comment and put that in there as well.
Oh yeah. Comet's second question at the end. I personally would like to see a Bloody Mary as an assassin that gains a lot of NPR procs and death if they attack 3 times in a row. I'd like to see Mothman as a trash mob type of enemy like Lamias, who could also have been said to be a rad horror themed servant. I mean, Lamias are just meh.
Yeah, but also Lamia is definitely not a servant. That's a race.
Yeah.
Also, isn't always snake ladies. That's some linguistic etymology.
Mhm.
Lamia just could be a really fancy Greek word for the same thing as vampires.
How about y'all? Do you guys have any unappreciated modern horror things that would make neat trash mobs you would like to see? Additional comments. I wonder if you guys like the hidden image I put in my question this week. I know I get scared when I start seeing them in November. Let me see here. Oh,
I get it. I immediately got it. I did 2 letters and I got it. Pegasus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Haha, you funny man.
You funny. But no, like honestly, again, with like I'm not super up on American urban legends. Like I know Mothman, I know Bloody Mary. A lot of
Jersey Devil.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched a lot of X-Files, guys, but also X-Files was made in the 90s.
Yeah, like here's the thing. A lot of what people call urban legends, usually people just pick from like TV and say, "Oh no, they're totally real." I'm just like, This is why I like
The term urban legend first used in print in 1968.
Wow. But this is why I like the Monster of Lake Champlain. Oh, that's something. I never heard of that.
I remember that name, but I don't remember the thing.
Monster of Lake. See, I'm gonna look this up now. Because Lucky has learned something today. Basically, it's basically a Nessie situation. The lake monster.
Urban legends are dumb. Sorry. We've got a list. I got a list of urban legends here. So it's got all the stuff you'd expect. Annabelle the Haunted Doll from those movie films. Area 51. Alexandra's Genesis, which is actually from a fan fiction. It's about having purple eyes and shimmering skin. But the one that got me was number B, first one. Baby Train is an urban legend which claims that a small town had an unusually high birth rate because a train would pass through the town at 5 a.m. and blow its way soul, waking up all the residents. Since it was too late to go back to sleep and too early to get up, couples would have sex. This resulted in a baby boom. What the fuck? That's not an urban legend. That's just horny internet posting. It's like a fucking porn plot. It's dumb. Like, fucking Bigfoot's better than that. Bigfoot, by the way, that's another American-ass thing, but I don't know how... Well, actually, Bigfoot is probably been a legend long enough. You could do that as a servant, couldn't you? Let me see how old Bigfoot is.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Chupacabra.
Oh, Chupacabra. Kill the Chupacabra. Tool River, Indian Reservation, petroglyphs indicate the family. The tribe's people voice of the hairy man are estimated to be between 500 and 1,000 years old. Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, Bigfoot's fucking old. We could have Bigfoot. By the way, guys, I want to throw out there. I have just posted a recreation of some petroglyphs for some people in Patreon chat. But cave paintings and petroglyphs give me like the big ookie. Like to me, that's always the most existentially freaky shit. Like the white giant in Africa and shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck did old ass humans see that they decided to draw this shit on a rock that was so important, man? Like, what the fuck? But yeah, first of all, there is a general problem in the universe of, like, referencing things that's too new to be servants, because there is a cutoff date. There's allegedly not a huge amount of mystery in the modern world, as we entered the atomic age, as Lucky referenced it earlier, science starts to take dominant. Oh yeah, you don't know about Safar? Safar's real. There's an actual cave painting of, like, a giant white thing. Pull it up. That's not it. Where is it?
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
Yeah, no, none of the white type, and it's like, just...
Yep, here's the image dubbed the Great God of Safar.
That was just put on a rock!
Yeah, it's in a very famous series of cave paintings.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tassil Ajir? It's Arabic. It's on the Sahara Desert in the plateau. It's a World Heritage Site.
Yes.
I'll type it out for you.
Yeah, but no, basically, discovered this, and there's just a cave painting with a giant white titan on it.
Yeah, actually, let me see if I can pull up another one that has in context. No, there's not really a good to scale, but yeah, no, there's just a huge, like, white figure. And we say white because it's got a transparent inside. Here are some other pictures, quote-unquote, for scale that are in there, which, as you see, are blacked in and much smaller on the cave rocks. So somebody drew this, like, giant translucent figure huge, and I don't know why.
But yeah, but that's where
freaky, but yeah, that's where Nosferatu.
Yeah. It's wild.
But yeah, so there's a cutoff date about mystery, which kind of, complicates some things. And also there's an issue of, like, urban legends, if they are, like owned by anybody or like popularized by anybody. That raises a copyright question because, like I said, in America anyway, the copyright date is 70 plus years. In Japan, you can be a little more loosey goosey with your references, but you still have to be careful. And if they are referencing like popularized things in America, they would still have to deal with the American system, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure those titty anime figures of Jason are licensed. Or if they're not licensed, they're bootleg, and thus FGO couldn't use them. Also, yes, there are horny anime figures of slasher movie villains. Duh. There's horny, figures of Godzilla monsters being women. But yeah, so it's an interesting question. I can't think of it, like you said, I can't think of anything super serial and relevant that I would like that's underappreciated. Like, Mothman's funny. Jersey Devil could be funny too, depending on what they do. But a lot of that stuff is like way too modern for what FGO is going for normally.
So
Also, they haven't even mined out all the gothic horror. They got some other stuff they could go back to. But that was our last mailbag, I think.
Nope, I got one more.
Right, yeah. I remember. I lost it because we talked about that one for a good 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
This one's short though, so it won't.
Yeah, I realized that I did see the alert for it, and somehow it did get buried way farther up in the thing. So yes, there's one more.
Yeah, so this so this last one comes from Killian King, who says, "Forgot to put this up last week, so I'll do so now before I get. But to add something for my question 2 weeks ago regarding the servants, that being that servants Minotaur is a fluctuation of 40% Vader and 60% Helmet.
Yeah, kind of.
I can see it. Also, I have no context for this because I can't remember 2 weeks ago and I deleted it.
Yeah, but, no, I mean that. I feel like this one got a little out of hand. But yes, I understand your joke. Yes, there's a lot of. I mean, it's a parody event. It's Servant Universe, so yeah, there's a lot of Dark Helmet there.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, assuming that was also original and just added by the localizers because I'm sure they, Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
Watch out, we're the Spaceballs.
All right, but that's mailbag, and
right.
I think that's the fucking show. Shit.
I got a couple of things to talk about, but yeah, that's basically the show. There's no free talk at the back end. We have nothing to discuss. We're in cruise time down here at NA, and JP's in a rerun, so there's not a lot to talk about. It is a new month, new us. So I do want to briefly mention we got monthly topic polls up. I was delayed a little because I was busy at the start of the week doing stuff, but we're here now.
We're here.
And they're up. So we got topic poll for Teach Me for November. It is currently just two options. It's about either explaining Sion and Melty Blood, as was brought up earlier, or, I phrased it as what's going on with the Awazaki sisters, basically exploring who they are and how they're relevant to everything, as we've discovered going further and further down the board, that they are characters that Nasu continually inserts over and over again into everything, even if only as just a lore tie to kind of pin everything together. Did you actually get a comment on this that we discussed off mic earlier in the pre-show, talking about, oh shit. Well, my lights all just went out, and I just heard a loud thump outside. So, am I still connected to Discord? Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. I'm still picking up. Anyway, I'm on, ups now, so I think I gotta stop the recording. Okay, alright. Hi, it's just me. So, yeah, my power has been out for over 12 hours, which came back a couple hours ago. I had to, go to bed. It's the middle of the night recording the show, get up, all that stuff. Gonna tack on an end real quick, finish this out, and throw this out there. Sorry if things are a little low quality. We're gonna speed through some stuff and just get the content out to the people. The show is basically over anyway. And the only thing we didn't do is I didn't cover Fanservant Friday this month, and also last month. We'll get there. I'll huck it out really quick while Lucky can't comment. I know, it's very sad, but the show needs to go on. Sorry, I look a little quiet in my audio levels. There we go. I'll project a little. Hi. So, Fanservant Friday for November, I called it best to the worst. I basically picked 4 people who don't usually do very well in polls, some of whom have been in several polls, and threw them up there, and I'm going to see what happens. So, you've got Jorgumo Berserker, Akustav Gaul Assassin, Sir Dagonet Berserker, and Tamlin Lancer. Tamlin is currently winning, but he has less than half the vote. Anybody at the 5 level on our Patreon can vote, so consider supporting us on Patreon and voting. New month. It's a great time to join the Patreon. Remember, you can do yearly subscriptions now, so you can check out a lot of those things, and it's pretty cool. God, I'm sorry, I look so quiet in the thing. I can't tell, because I'm not listening to myself. We're just on my mic yield, not my loopback yield. Maybe I should up my mic level a little while I'm recording solo. And I guess I sound okay. I'll run it through normalizing stuff. Hopefully everything is okay. If this last bit sounds a little weird, it's because we're doing it in a non-standard way. I'm sorry. Fate would not allow me to do it normally. Anyway, let's shoot through Fanservant Friday really quick by myself alone because I want to get it out there and I want to stop delaying it. It really shouldn't be delayed, but, stuff. So, last month's poll winner was... Sorry, I'm going to close my old Patreon tab. Close that tab. Was Helen Vaugahn, a character from The Great God Pan. This was a book by Arthur Machen in 1894. It's one of the prototypes of the cosmic horror story. H.P. Lovecraft cited it several times as a major inspiration for himself. Used it as a basis for the Dunwich Horror. Very Lovecraftian in nature. It's like Chambers. It's a big inspiration. It's also highly spoken of by Stephen King. So, the basic rough level is that there's a scientist. He does an experiment to let a woman see what he thinks is Pan. The actual archetype is a lot closer to, in the Cthulhu myth, as if you're familiar with like the RPG and some of the other works, is more like Nodens. But it's a horrible experiment. It's very freaky. Nobody likes it. And then we skip a generation, and we come back, and then we find out there's all these mysterious murders and everything going on. But what is actually, they go through all this thing, they find out there's a woman involved, they investigate, and then they discover that the culprit is actually Helen Vaugahn, who's the daughter of the original woman who went through these weird occult experiments, the previous generation, in the front of the book. And whatever thing the title character, the Great God Pan, is supposed to be, which is a great subject for a foreigner. Now, obviously, in typical servant stuff, fictional characters are in a weird level of discussion, but the novel, The Great God Pan, is very highly thought of. It served as an inspiration for H.P. Lovecraft, and if Lovecraftian horrors are supposed to be inspired by something real in the Fate universe, right, like they're tied to actual things going on, then it's possible that, perhaps the novel is fictionalized of something real, perhaps, the empowerment makes it real. You got a lot of wiggly stuff there. So, Helen Vaugahn, class foreigner, element chaotic evil. She is the antagonist in the second half of the story. She's not a nice lady. She is, driving rich men to madness and suicide and taking their money, and also is like a creepy blob monster underneath her, looking like a human, maybe. It's a little freaky. I don't want to ruin the whole thing, but you should check out the novel. It's pretty great, even if you know the quote-unquote twist. You may already know the quote-unquote twist, because that's how these things work. You guys know how Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde's supposed to work? Funny enough. So, chaotic evil, all that stuff, going through the stats, decided to do pretty fair stuff for foreigners. Strength C, Endurance C. She is supposed to be like a primordial human and actually like really strong when confronted, but not like super strong as far as servants go. Agility B, Luck C, Magic Power A. She's the daughter of a deity. NP EX for a reason we'll get into later. Passive skills, class skills. You got existence outside the domain EX, the big one. High level existence. Pretty typical for these kinds of things. Writing D as well. It makes sense with her Noble Phantasm, you'll see later. Also, you can make the writing joke there like with Maeve, but we'll skip it. For personal skills, Divinity B, how much of a divine spirit you are. She is allegedly a demigod. Whatever Pan is. In this case, I am using the greater Cthulhu Mythos type inspiration that it's more like the Celtic deity Nodens. So, as a straight-up demigod, B, pretty high level. Also got Mass Hysteria B, so, she causes people to go insane around her. Her true form is supposed to be quite frightening. It's not quite to, like, witch hunt level, but Mass Hysteria, I think, is a good, comparison for what we got going on there. And B is already Abigail's level. Maybe it should be C, but I decided to go with a B, And then some of the freaky personal stuff. Natural body, Primordial EX, the quality of having a perfect body from birth, like a goddess. But Helen is not like a human. She can temporarily enhance a parameter, she resists physical change, but her body is like something prehistoric, ancient. She can alter her form itself as too, something, bordering on shapeshifting, allowing her to take traits that are female, male, animal, plant, whatever. Interesting, flexible stuff. So, self-healing, debuff immunity, probably some other kind of buff effect. And then the last one is Selfish Beauty. This is a charisma variant, but it's basically like, yeah, she can, like, charm people, she can persuade people, but not in, like, a leadership way, but in, like, an only self-serving way. She kind of rambles around and just causes trouble, because why wouldn't you cause trouble if you were born in an occult experiment to an invisible force of nature? So, in FGO terms, this would probably be like some kind of self-attack buff or self-skill buff. I'm personally imagining her also being quick focused, though we got a lot of those now, so maybe not. Now, lastly, we have Noble Phantasm. The Great God Pan, hunting Chariot of the Abyssal Lord, is an EX rank 80 personnel Noble Phantasm. So, we have an interesting thing here. I pulled in a little bit of the Cthulhu Mythos knowledge of Nodens. This is the power of quote-unquote Nodens, even though in the original book he is also called Pan and the Devil. But again, they did the ritual in Wales, so, stuff like that. Nodens is called the Catcher. He's a god associated with hunting, the sea, and healing, and he's also linked by the Romans to Mars, Neptune, and Sylvanas, god of the forests. He is said to oppose the faceless moon who says love to torment humans, so he is anti-Nyarlathotep. Helen gets along not well with BB, Summer BB. But basically, because Helen is an eldritch being linked to Nodens, she can call on the abyss beyond the stars. She says that Noble Phantasms. A seashell chariot appears. It's propelled by dolphins. The chariot sails on black waves. If she catches the target, they are dragged into the prehistoric abyss and rendered into their original components. If it was used by Nodens, like under his authority, the chariot should be inescapable, but because she's driving it, it's not. I suspect this would be anti-male for her, bonus damage versus male characters. Probably some buff stripping, or maybe like buff block. Probably should have a curse, maybe a poison. I don't know, that might work better. For character design, it would be probably pretty interesting. You would start with probably something leaning a little, Victorian-ish, like we've seen some of those designs, and then get more and more freaky at the end until you get, probably like elk horns, goat horns or something, carrying a trident, by the way, Nodin symbol. Probably get some, like, fish scales in there, or whatever. Get a little translucent at the end, maybe. Her description in the final novel is, one of those unspeakable blah 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 descriptions, so you could have some fun, an artist could have some fun with this. Technically, with the way, like, Nodens is supposed to be, like, an earthly deity, you could argue she shouldn't be a foreigner, but the entity in the original book, and then obviously integrated the Cthulhu Mythos later, is also very eldritch and very, like, foreign and beyond human ken. So I think the idea of, like, a primordial deity that's been around since before human order existed and hasn't been tamed by human order would count as a foreigner, and I think it would be kind of an interesting counterpoint, especially considering that technically, as an elder god, Nodens in the Cthulhu Mythos, while not, like, good, is not necessarily anti-humanity. There's several Egyptian deities who show up, for instance, in the Cthulhu Mythos who are like, yeah, humans are cool, but, if they fuck with me, I'm gonna eat them. Fast is a big deal, because H.P. Lovecraft love cats. Shrug. So, I think it would be kind of interesting to see this compare, because in the actual novel text, Helen is the antagonist, like I said earlier. She's chaotic evil in this. And I think it's kind of an interesting place to put it in, where, like, her own nature is, savage, selfish, unsocialized, because her mother was driven insane by occult experiments again, and all that fun stuff. But the force she's connected to is not as intrinsically evil. It's much more like we understand forces of nature to just be kind of amoral and not focused on anything in particular. And that was Fanservant Friday. Sorry if that was a little short. Go check out the Great God Pan. It's cool. But with all that, I've managed to add 20 more extra minutes to the show. I think we should wrap up here. I'm going to do the usual outro really quick. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like. If you have any comments, leave in the comment section down below. Sorry, the video's kind of scuffed, Is what it is. Show must go on. You can join us on Discord, link in the description and on our channel page. If you're new here, please subscribe to get more of this content, hopefully in a more timely fashion and with less bullshit. Even if you're already subscribed, ring that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video. Such as, for instance, if I'm delayed like a day posting Let's Talk After You because my power went out for a long time. Think about it. You can also support us on YouTube by joining our channel membership, get access to membership badges and emotes, special super chat shoutouts, all kinds of fun stuff. And of course, like it said at the front of the show, consider supporting us on Patreon, get access to episodes early in audio format. Not that early. At higher levels, you can listen to the show live. You could have caught most of the show content for people. And all in all, it's a good time and it supports us. It supports me buying books. I think we're going to go order a copy of The Great God Pan right now. Put it on my shelf. But with all that, I will leave you. Sorry for, no lucky for these last, 20-ish minutes. And I'll be out of here. We'll see you next time. Check out this week's What's Up already.